up? Hello, everyone. Happy October 19th to you all. I'm not on air. I forgot to light that little light right there. What are we doing? My bad. My bad. We're missing out. We don't have the complete ensemble here to perfect the ambience. But anyways, we are here tonight just to kind of talk and hang out and enjoy the Halloween season together. We'll talk about how I spend Halloween or things that I do around Halloween time. And I'm curious about some of the things that you all do, how you celebrate Halloween. And we can talk about movies we watch, things we do, places we go, who we spend the time with, and or if we even celebrate it at all. I think most of us do. But anyways, it's pretty much open forum tonight. And we should be joined here before too long by Mr. John Ward. I just sent him a link a moment ago, and he is going to try and join us. So hopefully that happens here. But House of G fam, what's up? How you doing? Brent Mania, what's up? I got that Silver Shamrock song stuck in my head. So Silver Shamrock. What's the Silver Shamrock song? I'm not sure what that song is, Brent. My bad. Fill me in. Major Reeves, what's up? Wearing my OGP shirt. Decent. Very cool. Oh Shizzle, it's the OG Pizzle. That's right. You know what's up, House of G fam. Gale, what's going on? How you doing, Gale? Good to see you. And Robert, bunch of legends here right now. So hopefully everybody is having a wonderful Saturday evening. Rack and Base movie Mad Monster is a must watch. Oh, okay. Mad Monster, Rack and Base. Mad Monster, is that the movie called Mad Monster? I don't think I've seen Mad Monster. If that's the title of the movie, I don't think I've seen that one. But I have been watching some movies lately. Especially after doing the top 50 list last week of the top 50 Halloween movies, that I like, my go-tos. I gotta add a little more. Let me add a touch more light. There we go. I feel a little bit better. Like I'm not completely in the dark now. But okay, so Mad Monster Party is a Rankin Bass movie. Sorry, I can't type right. You're good, Brent. You're good. Mad Monster Party. Yeah. I wonder. Let me look at that. Are we talking from 1967? Boris Karloff, that one? Well, I would think it must be. Jules Bass, director. But yeah, do not think I have seen that. Can't say. Okay, right on. I will add it to that. Looks pretty fun. It's like claymation. Oh, it's kind of like those what is it called? Like the Disney movies, or not Disney, but what am I thinking of? Like the Frosty the Snowman and the Christmas specials. Okay, I'm adding it to the list right now. Interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've never seen that. I was not aware that existed. I've heard the name before, but I thought that was just a convention, honestly. But I have added a few movies to the list that have come out recently or will soon be coming out. Movies I want to still see are I Will Never Leave You Alone and Rippy. I think those just came out. Carnage for Christmas and Carved is on Hulu. So that one I know, like I Will Never Leave You Alone and Rippy, you got to pay. They're on Amazon, but they're like $6.99. Carved is on Hulu, so hopefully that's free. Carnage for Christmas, I couldn't find any listings for that. And then I started watching I think it's Caddo Lake, Caddo Lake, earlier today, and I turned it off because it seemed kind of all over the place and dumb, and it was more about a family who was dysfunctional and angry with themselves than a horror movie. So I don't know if anybody's seen Canoga Lake on Max. Let me know if it's worth sticking it out. Depravity, The Curse of the Necklace, Platform 2, Little Bites, Forest Hills, Daddy's Head on Shudder. I need to watch that. And Azrael coming out on the 25th, just a few days away, with Samara Weaving on Shudder. And then I've just added Mad Monster Party. So those are my recent additions to my watch list coming up. A lot of stuff I want to check out here. Silver Shamrock's song, 8 More Days to Halloween. It's the count day for them. Okay. All right. Very cool. Gloom Bloom, what's up? Just got back from seeing my new favorite movie, Smile 2. Loved the water chug scenes. It made no sense. Absolutely loved 20 more minutes than it needed to be, and that ending. Yeah, hey, Gloom Bloom, man, it's like you watch my review. I have no idea why who drinks water like this. Man, I'm not even gonna do it right now. It's too embarrassing. But it is man, full insertion there. It's very, very crazy. I don't know who drinks movies or who drinks bottles of water like that. MK Solid, what's up? Twins of Evil is overrated. The girls are hot, but it's not very good. Twins of Evil. I've been to the Twins of Evil concert. Are we talking? Must be 1971. Peter Cushing. Religious sect led by Gustav Wheel hunts all women suspected of witchcraft, killing a number of innocent victims. Young Frida, Gustav's niece, will involve herself in a devilish cult and become an instrument of justice in the region. I love Peter Cushing movies, but I mean, they are slow burns. So I mean, that's usually you get in those older movies, they're slow burns, but that's too bad. It's not good, and it's not good does not overcome like the slowness of it. It can be slow, but it still has to be good. The 1982 film Halloween 3: Season of the Witch, the song London Bridges was chosen as the melody for Silver Shamrock jingle. The Silver Shamrock. Okay. Simply because it was available in the public domain. Gotcha, Brent. Okay. Silver Shamrock. It makes sense now. Halloween 3. Where is it? I put the sign somewhere. But yeah, I get it now. Okay, that was over my head. I've not rewatched Halloween 3 in a couple years. I think I need to do that. Fall Rain. Yes. Indeed. I don't think I've done this. It's been like at least a week or two since, man, did it come back? Where? Oh my God. Is it?
It's vamp time.
It is vamp time. Yes. Took me a second to find it there. Things got shuffled around when I had to put up those 50 pictures. Mad Monster Party is a must. Trip down memory lane. Very nice. Balzer. Yes. I love it. I love the thumbnail there, Balzer. That's amazing. That is a beautiful thumbnail you have going on right there. That's all you need to know about Smile 2 is in Balzer's thumbnail. That's all you need to know right there. With Peter Cushing. Okay, very cool. It's like a Hammer type movie. Yeah, a lot of them very slow paced. Yep. Have you seen The Vampire Lovers with Ingrid Pitt? Vampire Lovers, huh? 1970. Seductive vampire Carmilla Karnstein and her family target the beautiful and the rich in a remote area of the late 18th century Germany. I have not. Jeff, is that worth it? Does it need to add to my list? OGP doesn't know what anything is. I know. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. A lot of old movies, if we're going back into the 60s and 70s, no, I'm not very familiar with a lot of that era. So I apologize. I do. Fall Rain, do you like Terrifier 3? I don't, but this guy does. Hello, John. Let's see if he can hear me. John, can you hear me? John can't hear me. He's looking down. Oh, now for you. Do you hear me? You hear me? Hello? Hello, John. John likes Terrifier 3. I know he does. We're having audio issues. Cannot hear me?
Why can't I?
We'll let John figure out his audio issues. John, wave at me when you can hear me. But Terrifier 3, it wasn't the worst movie ever. I did not hate it. It just had some issues, like lots of plot holes and some choices that I wouldn't have made. But it was not my favorite movie, and neither was Smile 2, which we'll get into a little bit. I don't want to completely spoil a movie on the opening weekend. Gale says Bad Candy, Candy Corn, Satan's Little Helpers. Candy Corn's a good one. Yes, very, very good movie right there. I like Candy Corn. Satan's Little Helper, yes. Sleepy Hollow, All Hallows Eve. If that's like the Terrifier predecessor, you're losing me there a little bit. But the Halloween collection, Hammer's Films, and Universal Monsters, all great Halloween movies. I agree, and I wish I liked the All Hallows Eve movies better, but everything else I am 100% down with. You must watch The Vampire Lovers, and I've seen Vampires, but Vampire Lovers, I'm going to add to the list. How are we doing now, John? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, nice. Very cool. Yes, I hear you loud and clear. Have you seen a movie called The Vampire Lovers from what is it, 1970?
Yeah, it's a Hammer film. It has a sequel called Lust for a Vampire. Yeah, it's part of their lesbian vampire series that they did. So yes.
Oh, I wonder if that's related at all to the movie Vampires with the Y, Vampyres.
No.
It's a definite. Oh, okay. You know what I'm talking about there? That's a lesbian vampire movie as well. So
yeah, it was done. It was when Hammer was slipping a little bit, and so they decided to add basically nudity or lots of large-breasted cleavage into their movies. So they did a whole bunch of like kind of lesbian vampire films. I have I think almost every Hammer movie downloaded. So I have some on DVD, but I think I have every single one downloaded.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah. And that's, so as MK Solo, he just commented, OGP doesn't know what anything is. When we get back into the early 70s and 60s, I am not, and here's the thing. I don't ever proclaim myself to be an authority on films, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you what you like my 50 last week I did a my 50 movies to watch at Halloween. Those are my favorites. Does it make it right? No. In anybody's list, it says, oh, this is the best or that's the best or whatever. It's all perspective, and so I don't think there's a right or wrong with it. But so I never proclaim myself to be the authority on films or this, super knowledgeable guy that can tell you everything. I'm a fan and I'm learning with you all a lot about some movies. Some I learn from you, some you learn from me. And we just have fun with it. But I do not. I need to update, catch myself up with some of those classic, especially the Hammer films. There's a lot that I have not seen. So, but Gale has Vampire Lovers, and John will catch up. Let me just get a couple more comments out of the way. I know these are more toward kids. Do you like Disney Channel movies? Halloween Town, I've never seen it. Don't know. Couldn't tell you. John, have you seen Halloween Town?
I know of it, but no, I've never seen it. I know, that it's like a series or something.
Wicked Network, what's up? He says, what's up to me and John? How's everything this evening? Doing well, John. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm good. How are you? How's everybody else?
I am doing well. Thank you.
Excellent.
So your internet signal is, I got to say, quite phenomenal right now. You're looking great as far as your picture clarity and everything. So is this new internet you have here now?
Yeah, this is it's still Cox, but I'm paying a lot less for it. So, but the
Oh,
guy promised me that there would really be no difference. So I guess that there really isn't. That's good.
yeah, no. This, as far as, especially just because, for whatever reason, StreamYard just never looks great. The quality of the picture, and it's supposed to be running at 1080 right now. You look very 1080 to me. I'm not sure. A lot of times when I go watch the replays, I'm like, ooh, why are we looking all 360 or whatever? But looking nice and crisp over there. So it seems
Yes,
like
good.
it's a good choice with the internet there you made.
Good. Thank you. Yes. Well, you helped me out a lot with this. So, because I was very concerned that when I came on, I would be like this through the
Yeah.
whole, and
Yeah.
so.
Well, and so I dealt with a lot of internet problems a year and a half ago, and I was trying to do everything I could, and it involved me getting new internet, upgrading to gigaspeed service. For those that don't know, you may have like 100 over 10, or you may have 500 over 100, or 500 over 50, or whatever it may be. I have a gig, so I have like 1,000 over, I don't know what it is. I think upload and download might be the same. It's a gig of speed. So I went with the best internet I could find at the time, which now they have even better than that. But the best internet, and I wound up dropping almost $3,000 on a new desktop, and it's not for monitors or anything. It was just the desktop, just to get the fastest thing I could, and new microphones, and a little audio mixer, and all kinds of things, so I could have a nice signal. So I've spent way more money on this than than I will probably ever recoup. But fingers crossed, someday. John, so this evening I thought we would kind of talk about. It's very open forum, but I thought we would talk about things we like to do around Halloween, movies we like to watch around Halloween, or just how we celebrate Halloween in general. And that kind of led us to the path of some of these movies that the conversation came up just before you popped in about what some folks were watching. Like Gale here says, some of Christopher Lee had some nudity in Dracula, film by Hammer. Christopher Lee's been in a few Dracula movies, right? I think
He was in a lot of them. For the most part, Peter Cushing stuck around as Van Helsing. And also Dr. Frankenstein. Christopher Lee thought that he'd get stereotyped, and so he left. But Hammer basically kind of manipulated him to staying on by saying, because your name is going to be on top of that poster, all these people are going to have work. And and Christopher Lee was supposed to be a great guy, like a really nice guy. And he's like, you know what? I'll even do the bad Dracula movies so people have work. So they could get paychecks. And some of his are some of my favorites. Some people may disagree with me, but I love like the Satanic Rites of Dracula, which was his last one. I love Dracula AD 1972. So these are the ones that take place in modern day. But I love those two, including all the other ones. So yeah, I got a whole shoebox basically of burns of all the Hammer movies. And I noticed one of the people here mentioned, let me make sure I say his name, Brent Amania 89 mentioned the Universal monster movies, which I also love. So I have this whole shoebox of all the Hammer movies, all the Universal movies, and then all the spin-offs from those studios.
Nice.
So yeah, it's just, it was when I was downloading illegally, and it was able to do a whole torrent of just Hammer movies, and there were like 200 of them in there. So
and I think what you meant to say was when you were out sailing the seas,
sailing those high seas. So you know,
yes.
but it's those are great films, especially if you watch them in order back to back. You see that there is this continuous kind of storyline that's kind of cool. You know, like if the Frankenstein monster falls into a quicksand pit in the next movie, somebody will fall through like a hole in the ground, and there's the Frankenstein monster all kind of like,
Oh, nice. That's great.
all
Yeah, I
there
love
in the
that.
pit. Yeah, and then they drag him out. Then at the end of that, he burns up in a house, and then the next movie, somebody's going through the house, and then there's like the charred remains. You know, so it's really fun with those. And Dracula, the Hammer stuff's the same thing. So
that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I need to watch more of those because I don't mind slow burns. And perfect example is a couple movies that Gale had sent to me, the Dr. Phibes movies. And
those are great.
I love them. I mean, and they would not work today because they're too slow pace and they're not bloody and gory enough. And I don't think they have one jump scare in them, but they're phenomenal movies. I loved them both. And, and so, and there are, like other Dracula movies and older movies that I enjoy. Yes. So let's see here. There was, so How's the G Fam says, how you doing, John Ward?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Thank you. How are you?
And yes, and so Brent Mania, I'm down with Universal monster movies, especially, when Universal monster movies are nice is when you're just kind of relaxing, maybe in the afternoon or early evening. It's been just a chill, peaceful day, and you just want to unwind and relax. It's nice to put one of those on and just, have it there. Sometimes there's slower pace. Maybe you fall asleep and take a nap and then you have to wake up and rewind it or whatever. But I enjoy those like classic black and white movies. And it's not just horror movies for me. Years ago, my wife and I did something with the kids where I forgot what night of the week it was, like Friday night or Saturday or Sunday night. We would all sit down in this room right here with the kids and we would put on an old movie from like the 30s or from the 40s and something that was family friendly and watch these old black and white movies together. So I just enjoy a good story. It doesn't have to be action and blood and guts and gore. It has to be a good story. So do love that. Yeah, it is still Cox. Yes. Wicked Network. Yeah. The Cox company, they're out here too. And they have known for being quite, at times the alternate meaning of that word. They've been that at times, but I haven't had Cox. I've not had Cox cable since living in San Diego. Like, I don't know, a long time. I haven't probably had Cox cable in 25 years or more, but I know they've been around and they're definitely not the worst company out there. So they're doing a great job for John. Let's see, John. Yeah. Looking like $1 million over there. Yep. HughesNet is trash internet. And I think Matt had HughesNet. Did you ever have HughesNet?
No, it doesn't sound familiar.
I think it's one that's available in the Valley out there in Vegas. And it's, I believe Matt had it and he has since upgraded and it's performing a lot better for him at his house now. OGP, my wife wants to know how you're keeping up with drinking water. Phenomenally, as I hold a Diet Coke in my hand. But I can say this. I've gotten to the point where I drink at least, if I'm going to have a can of Diet Coke, I have gotten to the point where I tell myself I have to drink a full bottle of water before I can have another can. So it's kind of cut my consumption maybe in half almost. Because I'm trying to wean myself off of the Diet Cokes here. So and I don't know if you've ever experienced this, John, but so when I drink a lot of Diet Coke, it tricks me into thinking I'm hungry because they don't have, because it's 0 calories, but it's sweet, so your body's thinking it's getting calories, and then you don't, and then so it actually makes you more hungry. Diet Coke, there's been studies about that to find that Diet Coke is kind of counterproductive. and it has me snacking quite a bit in the middle of the night and stuff, and I'm trying to cut down on that.
Yeah, I'm more of a Pepsi fan, so I like Diet Pepsi. Even though I do drink alcohol, I actually prefer Diet Pepsi. If I had the choice between the two, I'd probably take a Diet Pepsi. But yeah, they say that the yeah, because it's empty calories, your stomach thinks that you're eating, and so it wants more food. So yeah, it's kind of counterproductive. Yeah, but I do like the taste of Diet Pepsi. So I'll just deal with it.
Yeah, and it's that's all. Whether it's Pepsi or Coke, it's the same difference. If there's no calories there, your body's going, "Hey, man, what the hell?" Yeah. Bram Stoker Dracula is a boring movie. Does anybody else agree? You know what? Bram Stoker's is a movie I haven't watched it in probably 4 or 5 years now, and so I'd have to go back. But I remember when it came out, I enjoyed it. But I think now looking back at it, I may prefer going back to like a Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee type movie as opposed to Bram Stoker. What do you think, John?
I mean, I liked it. I mean, it's Francis Ford Coppola. I also enjoyed Frankenstein, which he produced. I liked Bram Stoker's Dracula. I mean, it's not the book, but it's actually Christopher Lee made the closest one to the book called Count Dracula, which was directed by Jess Franco.
Oh,
and that's the closest one to the book, because he's even got like the long mustache that Dracula has in the book. So
let's see. All this talk about Dracula, I might as well pull out the Dracula collection here. I think this is all of them. Well, that's another good movie, but not Dracula. I'm not knocking Bram Stoker's. It's been a while. I like Bram Stoker's definitely better than Interview with a Vampire, but it's still okay. I know. So how do you feel about Interview with the Vampire? That's an interesting one for you with your fandom.
Well, sir.
Is that the Tom Cruise collection right there?
It starts. This is just DVD. It starts here, which goes off screen, and goes all the way across. This is all Tom Cruise. All my Blu-rays, which take up an entire shelf, are all over there. I loved Interview with a Vampire. It started the fight between Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, which is not ended to this day. And I think that everybody does a pretty good job in that. I liked Interview with a Vampire. Yeah,
I mean, I think it's okay. I think it's another one I'd have to go back and watch again, but I just seem to remember being a little slow. But I got to go back. Maybe I'll rewatch Interview and Bram Stoker's this week and check those out. Refresh my memory on them. Preminator, what's up? Jeff Keaton says Louis Jordan gave a great performance as a Dracula on PBS, the kind that flies under the radar. He was excellent. He played a killer on Columbo. On PBS. What Dracula movie was on PBS? That's I wouldn't know that. Would you, John?
I've seen it, but I didn't know it was on PBS, though. I thought it was just regular television. But I've seen it a long time
ago. Would you consider Killer Condom or any Troma movies horror? I definitely. I mean, there are Troma movies that are horror without a doubt. Do I consider them great horror movie, or are they supposed to be like popcorn movies where you have fun and you walk away from it and it is what it is? I don't think there's not too many Troma movies that are memorable, but in my opinion, but I don't know about Killer Condom. Is that out already? I've heard of that, but I don't know. John, your thoughts on Troma and Killer Condom?
I know of Killer Condom. It is out. I've never seen it, though. I don't, unless it's a film that's acquired by Troma, I don't consider the ones that they make to be horror films. Like Toxic Avenger is not a horror movie, or Class of Nukem High, or things like that.
Consider those more sci-fi? action?
Sci-fi, yeah, comedies, you know, Romeo and Juliet. What are the ones that they do? They had their own Thanksgiving one that I'm blanking the name of, but they do Terra Firma is by far one of their best movies. It's about the making of movies, so it's about like making a Troma film. So that's a great movie by them.
So Killer Condom is I just heard about this recently, but I'm seeing Killer Condom from 1996. Is it really that old? Interesting.
I think that sounds right. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I had never heard of it till recently. I'm not gonna lie. Troma and shit. What's the other one? Another company like Troma. I don't watch a lot of them. They're tough to get through. When the movies are, you know, that bad, or if you can tell when watching it that nobody's put a lot of effort into it, it becomes tough for me to care and watch. So I've turned a lot of them off. But I do see we got to get caught up. I'm falling way behind. But Jennifer Half is in the house. What up, Jennifer? Thank you for that $5 super chat. You absolutely rock, Jennifer. I'm gonna get try and get caught up. Some of these comments here. Hammer films are timeless. I think we would all agree. Pluto has a Universal Monster channel. Okay,
Pluto TV. Yeah,
I have not even. I don't even think I have Pluto on my TV anymore because I just had so many apps. I started getting rid of some. Maybe I'll have to get Pluto back on there. Have you seen the 26-foot inflatable pumpkin? Also 40-foot. It's massive. Where are these? At like Home Depot or something? I am not the biggest fan of inflatable Halloween decorations. I prefer more kind of old school, like either plastic skeletons or spider webs or lights or tombstones or things like that. You know, and obviously living in an apartment, John, you don't have quite the luxury of decorating your front yard. Do you ever look at decorations or anything for Halloween?
Not really, no. I mean, I have just a lot of regular horror stuff up, kind of like what you have in a way, but it's no, it's my neighbors surprisingly decorate the outside of their apartments, like the windows and the doors and stuff. So so that's kind of good enough for me. Plus, if I have a lot of decorations in here, the cats get to it and they just kind of eat them.
Oh yeah. About Bud Abbott and Lou Costello meet the monster movies.
Those are good.
And going way back to the Abbott and Costello days, I've seen some of those like as a kid and stuff, but I couldn't tell you much about those. But that's cool. John enjoys them. Diet Right soda. Diet Right, man, you are going way back here. Drinks lots of room temperature water. It's good for you. And that's I don't refrigerate my water. Makes you full, takes your cravings away for soda. Works for me. Huge Pepsi guy also. So another vote for Pepsi. We can network Tab. Yeah, there you go, Tab.
Good old Tab. The astronaut.
Rawhead Rex is a really good monster movie. Best I've seen made in the 60s in Ireland. I had a VHS sold it worth like 100 now. Oh, maybe is that the original? Is there two Rawhead Rexes?
No, there's only one. There's it's based off the Clive Barker story. Came out around the same time as Underworld, or it's actually known as Transmutations is the other title for it, also based off of Clive Barker.
That's not from the 60s, is it?
No, that's 80s.
That's what I thought. Yeah, 80s. I think Luther, I think because this is the only Rawhead Rex I know of. And I do. I love this movie. It's a great movie. It is like two monster movie because I'm not the biggest monster movie fan, although I love me some Pumpkinhead. Razorback and Rawhead Rex, two very underrated monster movies in my opinion. They deserve more love. But man, the VHS, I'd never seen a VHS. That would be cool to have that on VHS.
I sadly used to own that, and now I don't. I probably sold it for $1.
Oh, that sucks. Don't forget Blackula. You know, it's funny. I saw Blackula on sale somewhere recently. Maybe it was at Vinegar Center, but somebody had Blackula. I don't remember who, but I did not pick it up.
Universal if you do, both are. There's a sequel, Scream Blackula Scream. There's a double feature DVD, so pick that up. They're both good.
Nice. But yeah, Universal Monsters Collection has all the Abbott and Costello. See, and that's a lot of those collections that you can buy that different like Shout or whoever puts out. They're very pricey, and I haven't bought many of those. Bram Stoker Dracula is one of my faves, especially love Anthony Hopkins. I mean, I do love Anthony Hopkins. He's
good.
A Young Frankenstein, a much watch for me at Halloween. Yeah, I mean, Young Frankenstein is one of my favorite comedies of all time. Phenomenal.
Well, and that was the thing with Mel Brooks back in the day, is he would do the spoof on the genre, and you could watch all the Universal monster movies and still watch Young Frankenstein, and it would fit right in. And that was the same thing with like Blazing Saddles, High Anxiety for Alfred Hitchcock movies. And then I would say you can't do it for any of the last Mel Brooks movies from like 20 years. You can't really watch Star Wars and then watch Spaceballs. They don't connect. He's spoofing a movie, but you can't watch it together. Yeah. That's where I think like Robin Hood Men in Tights is the same thing. You can't really watch Robin Hood movies and then watch it. Just doesn't. They don't fit. He became a different filmmaker. But the early stuff from the 70s, you could watch in whatever he's spoofing, and it fits right in perfectly.
That's funny. Question for John: did you acquire Born on the 4th of July 4K from Shout Factory?
I did not. I have the DVD of it up here, but I did not get it from Shout Factory. No, I do have. I have an entire bookcase of almost that's all Shout and Scream, because I'm friends with Cliff Macmillan. But no, not on 4K. No, not yet.
Right on. The Count from Sesame Street was on PBS. Yes. I think we're all familiar with The Count. Yes, Jennifer's in the house. Yes, we love Jennifer. The Louis Jordan Dracula film was produced by the BBC and shown in America on PBS. It's on YouTube. Okay. And Dracula, to me, I love Dracula with the British accent, or like talking like Peter Cushing or Christopher Lee and those old horror movie like voices, the way they spoke. But I've never seen that one. I'll have to check that out. Gale says Dracula, Prince of Darkness, Scars of Dracula, Hammer Films, Christopher Lee, all good movies.
Yeah.
Fight the Good Fight. What's up? The Curse of Frankenstein and Horror of Dracula are some of the best Hammer films.
That is true.
And Gale does love his Wild Turkey 101. So I'm just a couple minutes behind on the comments now. So let me pull these out then, and let's talk about. I know you didn't get any warning, so I don't expect you, but I have all my Dracula movies together, which is not many. And we'll start with one that I have not seen, and I do not expect good things, especially because it stars Cleo and Casper Van Dien.
I was hoping you would have that. That is one of my all-time favorite Dracula movies because it's based on the book.
Okay. All right.
That is closer to the book than a lot of other Dracula films. The Carpathian Sea is in space. Everything is in space. It's great, but they take it right from the book. I love Dracula 3000, and it has Udo Kier in it, who was one of the best Draculas, of course, from Andy Warhol's, Blood of Dracula.
Okay. Well, I will definitely have to. I put that in the watch list. And speaking of Andy Warhol's Blood of Dracula,
there you go, Udo Kier.
Yes, Severin film here, and Severin always puts their movies in black, which confuses me because most of the time when you see the black cases, it's 4K, but it's just a Blu-ray. But Blood for Dracula right there. We've got that one. And then, of course, Bram Stoker's.
Yes, just talking
Dracula
about that
right there. And Christopher Lee in Count Dracula.
That is the closest one that Lee made. He loves that movie. Yes.
Okay. So, and then I forget. I know. Gale, what did you send me, Gale? I don't remember. In the way, I don't remember which Dracula movies Gale sent me, but I know Gale sent at least one or two. I forget. But here we have Taste the Blood of Dracula.
That is one of my all-time favorite Dracula movies with Christopher Lee, because he became too expensive. So he didn't want, they didn't bring him back. He wasn't going to do it. And then they were going to make a Dracula free Taste the Blood of Dracula. And with no Dracula, no Christopher Lee. And Warner Brothers, who was distributing their films in America, said, no, you're getting Christopher Lee in this movie or we're not going to distribute it.
Wow.
So they fit him into the script wherever they could. And he said it was the easiest job ever because he has no dialogue.
Nice.
They didn't rewrite the script. Instead, it's just there's Dracula with mist around him and it's just Lee just standing there. And I love the film. I think it's so good.
Right on. That's funny that happened. So like with Jose Prendez with his Monster Mash party, which was his like paying homage to the Universal monster movies. He did not have the final say in which the producers at the asylum always decide how things are going to go. So he did not have the final say in how that ended. And the ending with this CGI creature was terrible. And Jose hates it. He hates that ending. But the funny thing is, in the movie, if you watch his Monster Mash movie, the guy that plays Dracula had gotten COVID during filming. And so there was several days that they had to just shoot scenes that involved him from angles that would cut him out. And then they had to have a pickup day or two where he came back, and a lot of the scenes that he missed, they just had to do kind of close-ups or mid shots on him and insert those. But the way they edited, I thought it was seamless. I wasn't able to tell. I had no idea watching the movie until they talked about it afterwards in the Q&A. How that happened. But another Dracula that really wasn't on set or whatever, that is kind of,
so they didn't pull an Ed Wood Plan 9 where Bela Lugosi dies and then they just have like a guy walking around like this
pretending.
Yeah.
Oh man. But then we have Dracula Has Risen from the Grave,
another great one.
So yeah, classic right there. And then maybe this is this the one that Gale sent? I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. Horror of Dracula.
That's the first one. Okay. Yeah, that's a great one.
Maybe this is the one. I don't remember, but I know Gale has sent at least one or two Dracula movies to me. So, and that's it. I do not own Interview with. Well, I don't think I do. Let me look at my eyes. I don't think
it would be in your Tom Cruise collection.
which then I don't have it. I have nothing against Tom Cruise. I am a huge fan of, I don't have Interview. Intruder. I'm surprised I don't actually. That's kind of, I'll have to add that to my list of movies to pick up. That is one I should definitely own. But I don't own that.
I got mine right here.
Nice. Yeah, I do love me some Tom Cruise. My favorite Tom Cruise movies are of course Top Gun 1 and 2, but Tom Cruise is in a ton of great stuff. I love Tom Cruise as Reacher. I thought he was great in the two Reacher movies. I would love to see another one of those.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No,
because of the
especially
TV show, and the author didn't like him as he's too short. He didn't have the build as the character from the book, so the author didn't like that.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Just watch Hell House LLC for the first time last night. That movie was awesome. Nice. John, have you seen Hell House LLC?
I have.
There's a few Hell Houses, but the original LLC that started that franchise. Very nice. Gold Movie, what's up? People who pick Pepsi is better than Coke. You got to watch them because something ain't right. Coke is best by far. The regular two can't do the diet. So Gold movie, I can't do the regular because it gives me heartburn. Or else I think I would switch over to regular because I think I would drink less of it. But it gives me any regular soda, Pepsi or diet, or Pepsi or Coke regular, give me heartburn. I have to have the Diet Coke because whatever the sweeteners are in there kill me.
I mean, I appreciate Coke's weird flavors. Like, I just don't like Coke and I don't like Diet Coke, but I like Coke cherry or Coke lime or Coke, blueberry cream or whatever weird flavors they have, Coke, peppermint, whatever it is. Though that stuff I buy all the time because it's just so weird.
Have you tried the Oreo Coke?
No, I have not yet. And that makes me sad.
It is amazing that I opened that bottle and smelled it. And it was like, wow, this smells like an Oreo. And then I tried the Oreos that are Coke flavor, the actual cookies. And it was amazing how similar they tasted. I mean, you could definitely taste the Coke in those too. So such a weird crossover. They were good, but that Coke is nothing I would buy on a regular basis. It would be something that I would have on a special occasion. If I'm just feeling something a little different, and it's Coke Zero. So that's a nice thing for me was that it didn't have all the sugar and give me the heartburn. But I would recommend if you try it, drink it ice cold, but keep it very cold. When it warms up, it's not as good. Fight the Good Fight was a Coke kid, but haven't drank it in 20 years. It's bad for you. Yeah, we know.
It is.
Yes, we know. Yes, you're not going to argue that. Have you seen the Count Yorga films? They're very good, especially the first one. Count Yorga. I don't know of that.
Yeah, 1970s. There's Count Yorga, The Vampire, and Return of Count Yorga. It was a big hit back in the day. Yeah, it's good. Also, I think it's Death Stalker. The actor is in that same actor who plays Count Yorga, which is an unofficial third one, kind of. I think it's called like Death Stalker or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, he's in an absolute ton of movies. So I'm just kind of scrolling through here, was trying to find. So back in Count Yorga there in 1970, Return of Count Yorga in 71. He's in Dr. Phibes? I did not know that. Dr. Phibes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool. And so then I'm not. Which one were you saying was kind of like an unofficial third?
Something like Death Stalker, Stalker.
Okay.
It was around the same. It was probably right after Return of Count Yorga, somewhere in there. He directed it.
Death Master.
That's it.
Okay. Well, I will add the Count Yorga movies. Those are again.
That's another one that's a double disc. 1 and 2 are on it. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Gold movie. If you hate fries, but I love them, that means something is wrong with you. Don't make it. Preminator. I think he's joking. Yeah, I think it was definitely a joke about watching out for the Pepsi drinkers. It's
hey, I didn't take any offense to it. So
Their new company release, Sleepaway Camp 2, 3, $23.99 each. Gene Wilder wrote and co-wrote, direct with Mel Brooks. Yeah, no, Gene Wilder, man, everything he touched was gold. So absolutely love Gene Wilder, and
Yeah, the good thing about those guys is you couldn't criticize them like you could people today because you have Mel Brooks, who's Jewish, Gene Wilder, who's Jewish. You even have like Richard Pryor, who is the writer of Blazing Saddles, who's black. And then you have, so Mel Brooks always associated himself with these people of different religions and ethnicities, and I'm pronouncing that wrong, but you know what I'm saying. And in his stuff, you can't attack it.
Yeah.
Because how do you attack Blazing Saddles, who's written by a black man, when a black man is saying the dialogue? Or you have, Mel Brooks, who's Jewish, and then you
Yeah.
have Gene Wilder, who's Jewish, saying the same lines. It's like you can't. It's just that's why their stuff was so great in the 70s.
Exactly. Michael McNally, what's up? And yes, but that's the beauty of it, is that back in the 70s, pardon my language here, people weren't such pussies, and you understood what they were doing. They were making fun of society, or they were making fun of racists. They were making fun of some of these archaic ways that women were treated, or just things were done. And so I think people knew that. And nowadays, either people, one, are too stupid to figure it out, which I think a lot of people are pretty stupid. We're not getting smarter as a society here. But also people just look for anything to be offended by so they can get out of going to work. Oh, I'm offended. I got to go stand on the street and, cry because a black guy said something, racist or whatever. And it's like, just,
have you heard the newest thing with Wicked?
Oh
my God. This might be it. This might be, it can only go downhill from here. It has to be. So Wicked, the movie, the black actress who plays the Wicked Witch, I'm not really familiar with who she is, but I guess maybe she's a Broadway actress. There've been problems with her before. So what a fan of the musical did, and there's a large fan base obviously for that, took the original musical poster, which is a drawing, and you see, Glinda the Good Witch up on the Wicked Witch's ear, the hat of the evil, the Wicked Witch is down, kind of like there's a shadow over her eyes, and her lips are red, and she's green. So they came out with the movie poster where the bad witch is looking straight into the camera. She's green, her lips are normal. She's looking right into the camera. So a fan took that poster, moved Glinda in just a little bit more like the original drawing, took the brim of the hat and the shadow and put it over the actress's eyes and changed her lips red, just to mimic the original poster.
Yeah.
Because the person is a huge fan and said, hey, look, let's just make it look like oh my God, you're racist. And then the actress, the black actress, oh my God, you're racist. You're hateful. Yeah. How dare you try to erase me from the poster? It was this long. It's all these YouTube channels are talking about it and showing the comparisons. She has flipped out and gone completely, just off. Well, off the reservation. I don't know if we could say that anymore. Can we? But
no.
But she has completely gone crazy, and it is the most insane thing ever. It's been decades that fans have recreated posters.
Yeah.
It's not offensive. It was actually done by a fan,
especially to try and look like the original poster or whatever. Like,
but just to have some fun with it.
This is all you need to know about that actress. Her first credit, what she is known for. Oh, where'd it go? I saw it here just a second ago. It's funny. It's like gone now. I clicked on her, and the first thing I saw was The Acolyte. I don't know if she's in The Acolyte or not. Why did I see The Acolyte?
I think there have been comparisons to The Acolyte because the black actress who is one of the lesbian space witches has come out and criticized Disney for not protecting its actors from criticism.
Yeah. No, and so she's in something called Star Wars Visions. So she has something to do with the Star Wars universe.
Okay.
I don't know what Star Wars Visions is, and I don't want to. I don't want to. And then a bunch of other just nonsense bullshit stuff she's been in. But anyways, she should just be glad that she's got an acting gig in a movie with Jeff Goldblum, Michelle Yeoh, and Ariana Grande. Just be happy and shut the fuck up, because you are the one that doesn't belong there.
Yeah, and I think that she might have played. I could be totally wrong about this. I think that she did play the Wicked Witch on Broadway. I think.
Okay.
I think that's where I think that she's the one that's being moved over. I think.
Okay.
But people have said that she's been like a prima donna on other things. But it's and I love the Wizard of Oz. I love the original. I love Return to Oz. I love Oz the Great and Powerful. I mean, I love the Wizard of Oz. And I never saw Wicked on stage. And I would have been interested in the movie, but now I don't care. I just don't. If this is the way that you're going to actually treat your fans, no, I'm not going to. When all you had to do is shut up. You know, it's like, sorry, you didn't like a poster that somebody who most likely likes her.
Yeah,
you know, or did.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So fucking stupid. She's probably just butthurt because if it like showed less of her face and she just, I just clicked on her name. And so the first 4 stories, Wicked poster design controversy is getting a bit ridiculous. Cynthia Erivo responds to the weird places Wicked fans took its iconic poster. Who cares what fans did? They're fans. You're bitching about the people that do want to watch. So guess what's going to happen? Fuck you. I'm not going to go see it. You're going to bitch about your fans. I'm not going to be a fan. Wicked poster. Everyone needs to chill out. Cynthia Erivo does not approve of fan art. Fuck off, woman. No. Life is too short. Just be happy and move on. If you don't like it, ignore it, you know?
Yeah. But people have defended her too. So, you know, it's Gale sent you 3 movies.
Ooh, Gale. Love you, Gale. Thank you so much. I'll be looking out for those. And it's funny. I did want to get to 744, so I'm 15 minutes behind in the comments. So I'm gonna try and get a few comments.
I will sit here if you want to go through them.
Okay, well, we'll get through them. I like the way we do it, where we kind of interact and stuff. On the other way around, I think Coke tastes weird. And Gold Movie clarified. I was just clearly messing around. Yes, we knew that. Yes. Big B, what's up? I like the Langoliers.
The Langoliers look like giant Pac-Men. I mean, they're horrible 90s CGI. That's during the time of the 90s when CGI was just god awful. But it's not a bad miniseries.
Yeah. It's one I haven't seen. My thing is I just there was a lot I missed in the 90s. And if it's not right up my alley, when I go back to watch things, I'm very selective of what I go back for. I was busy in the 90s going pew 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 pew. But Interview with the Vampire was such a classic back in high school. All the goth kids dressing like vampire gear from Hot Topic, right? I do remember that. Yes. Dracula, Dead and Loving It. I enjoy that one with Leslie Nielsen. Yeah, no, funny stuff. Leslie Nielsen's another one that so much funny stuff, some better than others. And toward the end of his life, things kind of progressively went downhill for the most part, but love Leslie Nielsen. Coke is better than Pepsi. I agree with you, Jennifer. Canada Dry for the win. Yeah, I know. I wish I could like sparkling waters or ginger ales and stuff like that. I wish I could do it. I just can't. How about Jolt Cola? We were talking about that. Like, I remember as a kid, I loved Jolt Cola. And then when it came back, I was not such a fan. Do you remember when it came back, John? Did you ever go try it again?
I think I've had it. I think I've had it a couple times, but I don't know exactly when.
Okay. Yeah, I loved it as a kid. Do you remember having it as a kid?
My mom bought everything generic, so I'm going to say no. I probably had it later.
Okay. Yeah, and that's so the only time I ever had Jolt Cola, because no way would my parents buy that. But when my brothers and I would have a few bucks and we would ride our bicycles down to 7-Eleven or Circle K and get, well, it was mostly 7-Eleven. We would get, some candy out of the little, remember on the bottom row at 7-Eleven back in the day, they had the little 5-cent candies where you would get like the one kind of Phat Now and Later or, or like one, like Tootsie Pop and stuff like that. So anyways, we would go in there with like a couple dollars, come out with either like a Slurpee and a bunch of candy or like a Jolt Cola and a bunch of candy. That was the time. And I remember loving it as a kid, but it could have been just one of those things that like, I'm a kid, I'm rebelling because I'm having Jolt Cola because it's all the sugar and twice the caffeine or whatever it is, all the caffeine, twice the sugar, whatever it was. So I may have liked it more than just because of being rebellious. This is diabetes talk. Yes. Oh, hilarious. You're old when you remember. Yeah, I know. Do you remember conversations, man? First Chainsaw movie was jaw-dropping. Best movie out of that franchise. Well, I think I would agree. Chainsaw Massacre 1, the original in that franchise would be the best, followed up by part 2. Your thoughts, John, on the Texas Chainsaw franchise?
One is still the best, but then I would say the second one is part 3 for me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I love that franchise. A lot of the newer stuff, but the old school movies, man, especially Texas Chainsaw 1, that is like top 5 horror of all time.
Yeah.
Crystal Pepsi, Blue Pepsi, Pepsi Lemon. I remember Crystal Pepsi was a big thing when it first came out. Everybody's like, oh my God, how did they make Pepsi clear? Just like they did Sprite. They didn't put the food coloring in. But I seem to remember Crystal Pepsi tasting just like Pepsi. Are you a fan? Do you go to any of the Pepsi offshoots like that, John?
Coke and Pepsi, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I like the weird stuff. Same thing with coffee. Is I'll buy the weird coffee.
Oh, they have Cinnamon Toast Crunch coffee. I bet that would be a good flavor.
Oh, at Dollar Tree, really? I'll have to stop by there. I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I didn't know they did a coffee.
Yeah. Jennifer says, what? It's bad for you? I thought it was healthy. We're obviously talking about sodas here. That's very funny. Has anybody seen the Coca-Cola flavor Oreo cookie? We just talked about that. Yeah, we can never. Or maybe we talked about that after you commented, but they're pretty tasty. They are pretty tasty. Larry, the Batman fan, what's up? Everything's going well, Larry. Hopefully you're doing well too, sir. Are you interested in being a part of the contest show, OGP? Larry, I'm sorry. I know you're doing a contest, and I just, man, I'm telling you, doing videos every single day, plus being on set of a movie and then being at a movie wrap party and being going out to LA for conventions and other things. I have had a million things going on. I have a long list of people that have messaged me that I need to get back to. Larry, entry period stops November 1st. I'll try, Larry. I think you mentioned or messaged me about it, right? I'll try and get to you. Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter is another one to watch. It's slow paced, but a good film. Caroline Munro is stunning in it.
I would agree.
One sounds familiar. What era is that?
It's Hammer Films, the 70s, but it's near the end of the 70s. And Caroline Munro is also a Bond girl. She was in The Spy Who Loved Me. She was in a handful of Hammer movies, but she is gorgeous. Yeah, she is absolutely gorgeous.
Pictures here. Yeah, agree.
Yeah.
A master swordsman and former soldier and his hunchback assistant hunt vampires. Okay, that sounds fun. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it. We're going way back in the day here with the movie talk here. So I'm making notes. I'm getting lots of things to add to the list because people weren't so dang sensitive, right? Back in the 70s. Yep, exactly. A lot of people just cry babies. I love Jennifer. She's the best. We truly live in a movie idiocracy now, 100%. And we're going further and further down that road. We totally are. movie's gonna bomb very badly. I'm curious to see how it does. I'm not sure if it will. Publicity like that is never good publicity. But now, so Wicked, that's like the based off the movie with the music, like the pop music and all that, not like the original Wizard of Oz, right? And I know it's kind of like in like a knockoff of it or something. What is it?
It was a book, and it's a prequel.
Okay.
And it's how the Wicked Witch became the Wicked Witch, how Glinda became Glinda. It was a huge book, and then they did a Broadway musical out of it, and now we got the movie.
Okay. But didn't they do a play or a movie or TV show called Wicked like back in the 80s or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I seem to remember what was maybe I'm just thinking of The Wiz.
Oh well, yeah, there is The Wiz. Yeah, that was good.
Okay, well, there was Wicked, came out in 2003. Well, let me just search. Let's see what all shows up. So 2021. So it looks like there was where to go from 2003. Maybe a lower budget Wicked, but definitely Wicked. It says, a young woman born with the emerald green skin and a bubbly blonde woman turn their initial rivalry into the unlikeliest of friendships when the world decides to call one good and the other one wicked. So there was a 2003 movie of it, but maybe I think of either The Wiz or maybe it's just called Oz or something. I don't know. But there was one that didn't have like Michael Jackson or one of his brothers in it. Or
that's
something.
The Wiz.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that's one.
Michael Jackson played the Scarecrow.
Yeah. Being called a racist doesn't even mean anything anymore. They killed the meaning. You're right. Fight the good fight. If you breathe the wrong way, you're racist. Yep. 100%. You're too white. You're racist. Yes. There you go. Has anybody seen the movie Saturday the 14th? Man, I'll tell you, I loved it as a kid. And then when I went back and rewatched it a couple years ago, I was like, ooh, didn't age so well. But it's still a fun one. John, your thoughts? Have you seen it?
A long time ago. I think I have a burn of it because it's Roger Corman. His wife is the main producer on it. I think he's not on it, but he did one of the producers. I mean, I enjoyed it. I think, I don't know if I watched it today, if it would hold up, but I'd rewatch it just to see.
Yeah, I definitely I remember. So it's got a 4.6 out of 10 rating on IMDb. And I just like looking at the trailer playing, which I can't play because copyright deal. Yeah, there's a lot of issues. It's cheesy, but it was like a mockbuster. So it was supposed to be cheesy and goofy, but I think maybe it just didn't have the budget to do what it needed to do. But anyways, yes, definitely seen that. It's one that everybody should see at least once. That's for sure. Let's see. Promise you she's not going to be in any other movies. Broadway can keep her. I'm with you, Jennifer. Anybody like that who comes out screaming and crying. What was the other movie that the actress that they fired the actress or whatever because she was bitching too much?
Well, there's and I even see who brought it up. Wicked Network is the Disney Snow White that's been postponed by like 2 years, and Rachel Zellweger, who is not people aren't hiring her because she's such a nightmare to absolutely work. She was on the red carpet for Shazam 2 and told the reporter the only reason why she did the movie is because she had to pay her rent. On the red carpet for the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, it is awful.
Piece of crap. I would a piece of crap person.
And here's something that you probably won't believe that I'm saying is I would much rather watch Snow White and the Evil Queen from the Daily Wire with Brett Cooper as Snow White, and it's produced by Ben Shapiro because they say they're following
a real thing.
Yeah, it comes out next year. They purposely made it to screw Disney and to bring out the traditional version of Snow White, and they're going to release it around the same time. And I would much rather watch that because it's supposed to follow the cartoon, the animated movie more. So, yeah.
Huh. That's cool. Brent Mania says Wes Craven presents Dracula, Leah Ascension. Anybody?
Wes Dracula 2, The Ascension.
He's a horrible director, so I didn't like Wes Craven. I'm kidding. I love saying stuff that is that shocking to get John's attention there.
Dracula 2 is awesome. It's there's 3 of them, and Dracula 2 is much more like The Brides of Dracula, the Hammer movie, which was the second Dracula film they made. Christopher Lee did not come back because that was his thing about not wanting to be stereotyped. Instead, I think he was doing another Hammer movie, but Dracula is blonde in it. So it's a young blonde Dracula, and in Dracula 2, The Ascension, Dracula is blonde. And I loved it. Out of the 3 that Wes Craven produced, I think the second one is the best one.
Oh, it has Jason Scott Lee in it. Okay. Yeah. You know what? Is that? Fuck me. Where'd it go? Roy Scheider's in it?
Yeah, he plays a priest. It's one of those things where they probably had him for like a couple days, so they shot all of his stuff in a monastery and then kind of sprinkled it throughout 2 of the movies. But it's directed by the same guy who gave us like Drive Angry with Nicolas Cage. He also did My Bloody Valentine 3D. So they're well directed because he's an editor.
And as I think I missed, it's reminding me of a comment I meant to address, but I forgot. Somebody had mentioned the soundtrack for Dracula 2000. He also did Dracula 2000.
Yeah.
So, well, there you go. Let's see. I hope she apologized to her fans. Does she? I mean,
she's got a huge fan base, but it's yeah.
I just wonder, like, you know, if she was, hate to use this word, but the token, you know, African American person to fill that role to meet the criteria.
I only know, and if you look at the drawing for Wicked, it's a white person, just, you know, in green, but it's I don't know enough about the musical and its history. I thought that it was just white women playing the Wicked Witch, but I think she was one of them. I think. But somebody had mentioned that she was listed in an ensemble cast of actors for something, and she like went on a massive rampage saying like, I would never be part of this ensemble. I would never do any. Yeah. So there's a history of her doing this.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to be known for off-screen drama. And that's where so many of these actors nowadays, I think they feel like they are, I'm not going to pick on Cher, but I'm just going to say like Cher. Cher is notorious for being fashionably late. She's late everywhere, all the time, everywhere she goes. That is her thing. If you've been in like 5 movies, you know, if you've been in even 10 movies, you don't get to be Cher. You know, you don't get to be George Clooney. You don't get to be Tom Cruise until you have the resumes that they do. You don't get to speak your mind. And that's where these people go like, oh, I was in one movie, I'm going to fucking speak my mind and everybody needs to listen to me. I think the sense of entitlement with these younger actors is sometimes tough.
So absolutely amazing, especially with like, you know, Rachel Zellweger, how she, I mean, she's now doing Romeo and Juliet on Broadway. And so, but from what I've understood is she's begging Disney to let her do a Star Wars movie. Do you know why? Because in one of the books, it's either the books or the comics, her initials -1 is the name of a ship. So it's RZ-1. So she says because of that, she should be able to be in a Star Wars movie.
Wow. Yeah, no, go away, woman. Give me both Coke and Pepsi. There you go. That is crossing party lines here. Working with the other side of the aisle. That's what we all need to do, right? We need to stop throwing dirt at each other and just cross that aisle. And here's the thing. I go to Taco Bell. They have Pepsi products. I am stuck to drink Pepsi products, and I'll do it. I will cross that aisle because I need to. And thank you, Jennifer. Love you too. Jam and Music Man, what's up? How you doing? Have you guys watched The Beast Within, a true cult classic?
Yeah.
Man, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's got great special effects of the guy transforming into this creature. It's good. It was the 80s.
82, and Ronnie Cox.
Ooh, Ronnie Cox. That's always a good thing.
And BB Besh. Let's see. Other people I may recognize. A lot of faces I recognize. I don't know their names, though. So is that, let's see, a young woman gets raped by a mysterious man creature, and years later, her son begins a horrific transformation into a similar beast. Is that what we're talking about there?
That sounds right.
Okay. Yeah, I would have to go see. It sounds, the name, The Beast Within, sounds so familiar. And it could be one that I saw like as a kid or something and just haven't revisited in a long time. But it does sound like something I want to watch. So
yeah, I think Shout or Scream might have released it, but it's also MGM. So
okay. Yeah, there's a newer Beast Within too from like last couple years. A Beast Within as well, I should say, not two, but okay, so let's see. Hollywood has lost connection to their fan base, and they're starting to pay the price. No, they are. Derek, you're correct. And not only from the products they put out, but I mean, Hollywood just as a whole has just lost their mind. It's so expensive to make a movie in Hollywood. I'm waiting for the day that the Asylum decides to move out to Vegas as well, because
I'd love that.
I mean, like they just, there's all these. It's so hard to make a movie in California, and so a lot of companies. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that vote this November, with if that bill gets passed out there in Vegas, and then all the studios start shoveling a lot of work out to Vegas.
Yeah, because we already got Nicolas Cage out here, and then now Mark Wahlberg wants to build a studio. He already has like a gym. He has like a bunch of gyms out here that he owns. So he wants to come out here too. It's a tax write-off because you only pay one tax, and you don't need permits everywhere. But who knows if it got to Hollywood, but then maybe you would. But it's right now it's a small filming area, but I could see it growing all the time. So hopefully,
no, and there are a lot of celebrities that live out in Vegas, and I'm trying to find a list.
Well, like Mike Tyson is out here, to name one.
Yeah,
that I could name off the top of my head. Yeah,
Chris Angel. Obviously, Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah. Mayweather gym. He has his own gym out here. Of course, when they get residency, they stay out here. So they normally commute into Vegas. They live outside of it. But I mean, you could see him walking around from time to time.
Yeah, and these are not mostly actors, but a lot of celebrities out there. But there's one that just offended me. Carlos Santana. This I hate. I don't like this guy because I'm not a fan of DJs and them mixing other people's music and taking credit for it. But this Steve Aoki guy, I can't stand this guy. And, I mean, hey, more power to him. He's filthy rich, and he did that by stealing other people's music. And now if I'm doing a live stream on Fremont Street and I'm walking around, Steve Aoki comes on and he's stealing other people's music, but I get flagged on YouTube for stealing Steve Aoki's music that he stole from other people. So I just don't, I'm not a fan of the guy. But Nick Carter, there you go. That's funny. Celebrities that live in Vegas, and they list one of the Vegas Golden Knights players. duh. So anyways, not the greatest list there, but so anyways, we're pretty close to caught up on the comments here. Let's see. John is definitely a movie buff. He knows his stuff. No, and Brent Mania, that is very much true. And that is John, over the last, I think it's been a couple weeks since we've done one of these. And I've had a lot of people constantly asking, where is John? So
nice. Thank you.
They want more of John. Yes.
Yay, thank you.
What's everyone's favorite zombie films? Ooh. So mine is a great movie, but it's gonna raise a lot of eyebrows. I'll let you go first. Do you have a clear and cut favorite, John?
Well, it's in my top 5 for one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it's one of the greatest films ever made. That's the original Night of the Living Dead. That would be number 1. But yeah, there's many others. So I love zombie films. I have been made fun of by friends because I do believe the zombie apocalypse will happen. It just isn't going to happen like Night of the Living Dead. It will be more like 28 weeks later or 28 days later, or some sort of virus will kick in and everybody's going to get screwed up, and that's going to end us all. I think it will be, sent from the Ukraine or China or something like that. Will send some sort of virus over to kill us, or some monkey that has rabies,
I'll tell you, 28 days later is so for me, favorite zombie movies, it could be a toss up at any given time, but I mean, you take Night of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead, there's a few good movies in the Dead franchise there, or universe there. But I would say at this point, 28 Days Later is probably my number 2, next to only, and it's they're all so close, so it's hard to pick. I have a hard time with favorites, but my favorite, I have a poster on the wall over here, and that is, surprisingly enough, Train to Busan.
That's a good one.
Absolutely love that movie. I think the Koreans did such a great, job. There's so many great Korean movies, but Train to Busan. And now I have not watched Peninsula. Have you seen Peninsula, the sequel?
No, I've heard it's so bad because of all the CGI that I've kind of avoided it. So I'm hoping to only find it maybe for like a couple bucks, and then I'll pick it up.
So I have done the same thing. I found there is a Blu-ray with Train to Busan and Peninsula, both movies together on a Blu-ray. So that's what I have now. And I still have not, I've owned Peninsula for a couple years now, and I just still haven't had the guts to put it in because I've heard nothing good about it.
I take my zombie films very seriously. Out of all the genres that are out there, I take my zombie films very seriously. And I don't like, except for like Shaun of the Dead and a couple other ones, I don't like zombie comedies because I don't think zombies are funny. I don't think that they should be funny. Unless you have something like Return of the Living Dead, where the zombies are taken seriously, but the people are funny. So it's so when I hear something that's really bad, I don't like Peninsula. I kind of avoid it.
Well, someday I'll watch it, and maybe that's one I'll save for some time that you and I are sitting down together to watch a movie, John, and we can cringe through it together. How about Cemetery Man? Cemetery Man is a good one. Yes. And I think that's on, I don't think I own it. I think it's on my list to pick up because it's, I want to, is Cemetery Man like Vinegar or Severin or Shout or something like that. And it's a little on the pricey side. So that's why I think.
Yeah, it's boutique. Yeah.
Jammin' Music Man says Zombie 2, City of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead is a great one. Yes. Night of the Living Dead. Oh, House by the Cemetery. Good call there. Have you seen that one, John?
Yeah, that's Fulci. So yeah, my in my top 5 would be The Beyond by Fulci. Yeah. I love his Gates of Hell trilogy that he has. Okay. So yeah, I love Fulci stuff.
Nice. That House by the Cemetery is very good. Yeah.
And Shockwaves is really good. That's Peter Cushing.
Okay. I don't think I've seen
Nazi Scientist. And you had brought up Return of the Living Dead, and the director of Shockwaves did Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
Okay. Nice. It is on the list. It is on my list.
Shockwaves is awesome. Yeah.
Nice. Zombie by Fulci is the standard. So, and you know, and it's crazy. I know. And I get shunned a lot for what I'm about to say. I have not been a fan of any of those movies. So I own 1, 3, and 4. I still need to buy 2, but everybody's like, "Oh, watch this one. It's the greatest. It's the greatest." And I'm just like, eh. Yeah, I've been bored with them.
Well, you have to. I even thought of doing. How did I put it? Zombie Resurrection Sunday, and putting out one review for zombie films every week, or at least maybe every couple weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
And it depends on how you watch them, but it's, Night of the Living Dead and then Dawn of the Dead. But then if you were to watch Dario Argento's Zombie without the E, that is cut down to 90 minutes. And that would actually, because of that being such a hit in Italy, they decided to make Zombie. So so in a way, Zombie is the prequel to Dawn of the Dead.
Okay.
That version of it, because it deals with voodoo. They're on the island, and then you see them walking across the bridge to New York, and then of course Dawn of the Dead starts in the city.
Yeah,
and then you can so you can kind of branch out and go Italian or American with that. So
see, and that's the whole like with Zombie, the island stuff, and it was like, what are we doing? I just, I want to like them. I'm just not there.
The Italian stuff is different because they wanted to do different things. So they introduced voodoo, which was back in the day with like White Zombie with Bela Lugosi, but they were. Even though Night of the Living Dead is technically the first one where zombies use weapons, they have Nightmare City, where they use guns like Uzis and hammers and knives and stuff to kill people with.
Yeah.
So it's they wanted to do something, and their zombies disappear.
Yeah.
So stuff like The Beyond and City of the Living Dead, which is one of my all-time favorite films, is they disappear, and it's very religious. It's very H.P. Lovecraft. It's very cosmic horror.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am. And here's the thing. I love a good zombie movie. Like that is one, I'm not the biggest monster movie fan, but zombie movies, I love a good zombie movie. And even like Buried, I mean, that's, you want to talk about crazy. And it's not, I mean, when I think of zombie movies, I don't really think of Buried, but I mean, it's, excuse me, Diet Coke burp, essentially a zombie movie. So, but yeah, there's so much out there. And that's maybe if you want to do that, videos, pick a zombie movie to watch once a week and do a review on it or something. You throw out the title. I'll do that series with you if you want the company.
Okay.
That would be fun. Oh, sorry. So yeah, Shaun of the Dead. I absolutely love Shaun of the Dead. I mean, that is one of brilliant, especially, because Shaun of the Dead, taking place in like England, kind of like 28 Days Later and stuff. Those two movies to go, kind of go hand in hand very well. That could be a great double feature for me. Man, I cannot wait for 28 Years Later. That is going to be so good.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it's going to be so good. It looks so good. So let's see here. Derek says Dawn of the Dead and Zombie.
Yeah.
Jeff Keaton. I love Paul Naschy films. Do you guys watch them? I don't know if I know them offhand.
He was the Spanish like Lon Chaney. So he had a werewolf character and that he was in like, I don't know, 8 movies, 10 movies with this character, and Valdemar, I think is his last name. And but he was also like the Frankenstein monster. He was also the Mummy. He was Dracula. Dracula's Great Love. But he's
the Devil.
He's in a ton of Spanish horror movies. He would be like, I guess, the Tom Cruise of Spanish horror movies, you know.
Oh, nice.
Or Jackie Chan, you know, for martial arts films, that type of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I can't say I've seen any of those. Maybe, but the picture of him is a very famous picture. What he has on his let me pull this up here real quick. That very famous picture right there. I think
that's his
we've
traditional.
all seen that.
Yeah.
So, but I do, you know, all this talk about, you know, zombies and Dracula and stuff like that. Dead Snow is great. And I did get Dead Snow too. I have not watched that yet. Need to get around to that. Fulci had zombie fight a shark. Enough said.
Yeah. In Zombie. Yeah. But an actual guy. It's a nursing shark. I think it's meant to be a great white.
Okay.
But it is a nursing shark, so it's not going to attack the guy. But yeah, he wrestles with the shark and fights with the shark, and it's all underwater. It's pretty cool.
Okay, nice. Yeah, Derek Barber says Plague of the Zombies is another good one.
Hammer.
I don't know if I've seen that. Oh, okay. OGP number one favorite movie is House of Pain. Of course, yes. He gets moist when watching it. Hey, James, I wasn't the only one involved with making House of Pain. This guy right over here too.
Oh crap! That House of Pain.
Yeah, that House of Pain. There's your AD right there. So, Dead Alive, aka Brain Dead. Yes, that's a good one. One of the greatest movies ever. So now I just got done. I kind of binged over a couple days, and I remember I must have watched more of it than I thought I did. I think I thought I had just watched the first episode, but I just watched Midnight Mass, and I don't think it's until like episode 3 that you kind of get any inclination that these are like vampires. So it's amazing that these people are stupid enough to believe that this vampire is you know, an angel from God coming down to give them eternal life. And it's like, wait a minute, you fucking morons. Eternal life isn't supposed to happen here on Earth, right? Like, what happens when the sun gets too big and engulfs the Earth, you know, like a few billion years from now? What are you going to do then? You know, but anyways, it is funny because it definitely paints the ignorance of some religions and the things that they're willing to just disregard because of their belief or whatever. It definitely crosses that line. But at the same time, you got, you know, characters that you really like. You've got this one fucking bitch that you're like, I want you dead. And you know, and eventually you get that. I think everybody's seen Midnight Mass, but anyways, I loved it. And I thought they did such a great job. But the one thing I was kind of surprised is throughout the whole show, they never once used the word vampire. So, and you enjoyed that show, did you not, John?
My favorite filmmaker is Mike Flanagan. Yeah, I absolutely love Mike Flanagan. I've only missed his last show that was on Netflix, which was the Edgar Allan Poe show. But I own everything that I can from him. Some of his stuff is not available, so I had to get it bootleg, or I will be getting it bootleg. But I'm sorry, bootleg, and the high seas, and yeah, I think the guy is absolutely tremendous, and you're probably pulling him up right now, and so am I.
Yeah, that's you're talking about the Fall of House of Usher. Is that the one you missed?
Yeah, that's the only one that I really haven't seen. His like feature films, Absentia is really good. Oculus is great. Hush is really good. Before I Wake is a little Hollywood, but it's really good. Ouija, Origin of Evil, which is the prequel to Ouija, is amazing. Gerald's Game, which was a book from Stephen King. He's a massive Stephen King fan. So Midnight Mass is his version of Salem's Lot. But Jared's Game is a very difficult book to make into a movie, and he did a really good job. Dr. Sleep, of course, the sequel to The Shining. I thought that he did a really good job with. I haven't seen Life of Chuck. I know I haven't seen that one yet. So I missed that one.
Yeah.
The
Haunting of Hill House. That's one of the greatest miniseries ever. I absolutely love The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah, that was really good. Bly Matter's good. Midnight Mass. Have not seen Midnight Club because I think that's more for kids. Fall House of Usher I missed. But he's got. I'm seeing here now, and I am very disappointed in this Shelby Oaks. I wish that he was not part of this movie.
Oh.
I don't know if you know the drama going on with YouTuber, with reviewer Chris Stuckman, but I wish that Mike Flanagan was not listed as a producer on this film, to be honest.
Oh.
So, yeah.
I didn't get into his producer credits, but I don't know of that, but I do love his work here. I mean, I need to see Fall House of Usher, and I need to see Haunting of Bly Manor. But Dr. Sleep, I love the movie. I don't like it as a sequel to The Shining, but I do like it, and I understand that it works as a sequel to The Shining. I mean, especially, when you have not Jack Torrance, but what's his son's name? Danny Torrance.
Danny.
I get it. But and I thought that the what's his name? Thomas did a great job. I could not believe how much he looked like like Jack Nicholson in there. What's his name? Thomas. You know who I'm talking about? E.T., right?
E.T. Yeah. Elliot. Yeah. I thought that it worked, being somebody who is, and I know this is blasphemy, I am a bigger fan of the TV miniseries of The Shining than I am of the Kubrick movie, because I am kind of a Stephen King purist, and the miniseries matches the book much closer, and I loved the book. So I think The Shining on its own is a good movie. It's a very good movie. But I think by them calling it Stanley Kubrick's The Shining and then Stephen King's The Shining is how it should be, because it really is Kubrick's The Shining. It's not Stephen King. Kubrick completely missed the point of the book. But I thought that Mike Flanagan, with incorporating the book for Dr. Sleep, the book for The Shining, and then like the Shining the Shining movie into Dr. Sleep the movie, and convincing Stephen King to follow the Kubrick version, because in the book of the miniseries, the hotel explodes. There's nothing there anymore. I thought he did an excellent job with that. And unfortunately, when COVID hit, the movie just bombed. It was very unfortunate. But the longer version is better. I think it's like 30 minutes longer, and that it's a much better version of the film.
Okay. Yeah. I love Kubrick, and to me, The Shining is, and I am not, and this is what, I guess it's a good thing, because if we both agreed about everything, it would make the conversation boring. But I am quite the opposite of John, in the sense that I don't want, if I know the story that I read in the book, I don't want to see that movie, because I've already read the story. I don't need to see it. I don't need to hear that story again. I like when there's differences. And so The Shining, I love what Kubrick did with it. It is a very creative. Every time you watch it, you could pick up on different nuances and things. And so I just love The Shining. And I own Stephen King's The Shining. And one of these days I'll get around to watching it. I just haven't yet.
It's a lot of people make fun of it in some ways, where they're like, where Jack Torrance goes around in the miniseries with a croquet mallet, and that's how he's killing people. They're like, oh, it's a croquet mallet. It's not an axe like they used in Kubrick's version. No, a croquet mallet's worse, because it's just a blunt object. It doesn't have a blade. So you're just hitting and hitting and hitting, you know. In axe, you could do one hit and you're dead. But the mallet, you got to keep going until that person's dead, and they're just being bludgeoned to death. And as much as I love Scatman Scruthers, you know, in the Kubrick version, I am a massive Melvin Van Peebles fan, who's Mario Van Peebles' dad. And of course, I'm a huge Mario Van Peebles fan also. Melvin directed some of the great films of the 70s. He's a great actor. I was very upset when he died. And I mean, he did one of the greatest. He started the blaxploitation movement in the 70s by mistake with a film called Sweetback's Badass Song, and unintentionally created that. And and I love that movie. I absolutely love it. I mean, I have a whole Melvin and Mario, it's like way up there, you know, section. So so I liked him playing that role in the miniseries. Melvin did. So when I saw that he was part of that cast, I was like, oh, this is awesome. But we do have to talk about at some point Joker 2 and Terrifier 3.
Oh yeah, no. And we'll start to turn our direction there. So the Kubrick film will always be in my top 3 for me as well. I'm with you, Jeff. And what's up, Heath B? How you doing? Wicked Network, you better be kidding. It is not overrated. I will slap your mama. But
I will mention for Jeff with the zombies, Oasis of the Zombies, he wrote might be the worst. I love Oasis of the Zombies. It is so awful. It is one of those Italian movies towards the end of the zombie, time. And it is awfully, it's great. It is so horrible. This at the very end of the movie, this guy, he's in the desert, in the Oasis, and this I don't know, an Arab or something, I'm not really sure politically correctly how you say it, but with the turban and all that, and he goes up to him. This guy's friends are all murdered, they're all destroyed by zombies, and he just goes, "What did you find, my son?" And the guy whose friends are all dead just goes, "I found myself." And that's where the movie ends. It just goes to the credits. It makes no sense whatsoever. None. I love Zombies, Oasis of the Zombies. I think it's great. And it deals with Nazis and Nazi gold and all that stuff. So,
all right. Yeah. And so everybody knows there are a lot of movies that commonly are shunned or disliked that John has a different view of. So, and that makes the conversation fun. Have y'all seen Salem's Lot remake?
Yes.
Heard mixed reviews about it. It was okay. I mean, I don't know. Your thoughts, John?
Well, I might think opposite of you. It's not the book.
I know. Yeah,
any stretch of the imagination, it is not the book. It's a more of a remake of the miniseries from the 70s, the Tobe Hooper one, because Barlow is not does not look like Nosferatu. He doesn't look like that. He just looks like a regular vampire. He looks like Dracula. Yeah. But I did love how they changed the ending and put it into the movie theater, like the drive-in.
Yeah.
And the coffins were like the back of the cars. That stuff I really did like. So I thought it had its moments. It wasn't great, but I prefer the miniseries with Rob Lowe because it's the book. So,
and I wonder if we'll get, because I heard that the new one was shot. I heard that they had an opening scene that was supposed to take place, at the house and stuff, and it got cut out or something. So I'm wondering if we'll ever get like a longer cut of it. Have you heard anything about that footage that was cut or deleted from the new one?
That I haven't heard of. I know the film sat on the shelf for nearly 2 years, or a little over 2 years, because HBO said it was unreleasable. Yeah. I think that there probably is somewhere out there a 3-hour cut, because if you watch the movie, there are some really weird edits, like where a scene just ends and it's like, man, I think that should have been longer. So but it was all right. It was okay.
Yeah. Speaking of weird edits, man, fucking Terrifier 3. Wow. I'm kidding. No, but I'm really not. But anyways, I want to, before we dive into that now, John, I'm not going to spoil this. I'm not going to go into this because it's opening weekend. Smile 2. I know you and I have discussed this, but why don't you tell everybody? I kind of enjoyed Smile 1. Wasn't the greatest. I felt like it was very open-ended, like it didn't have any resolution. And so I went into Smile 2 hoping for some resolution. And we got what we got. I put up my review yesterday, and anybody can watch it if they want to hear your thoughts on the Smile movies, John.
So probably when we're done here, I am going to rewatch Smile because I hated it. I hated it with a passion. I hated how they freaking all look like the Joker. I didn't think that the smiles were consistent. I thought that they looked like Snapchat smiles. Kevin Bacon's daughter, who is the lead, is so emaciated in that film that you could see every bone in her body. Girl, eat a freaking sandwich. She is so bony in that film. I was more distracted and scared watching her than I was with the whole movie. Now, everybody I know friggin' loves the film. They all think it's great and that it's wonderful. And it made a lot of money. So I'm happy about that. Smile 2, I did see your review. Everybody, all the reviews I've seen online say the exact opposite. You're the only one that has said that. Everybody is raving about Smile 2. So that's why I want to rewatch the first one, and then I'll see the second one, I guess.
Yeah, there is. And I know I'm in the minority as far as my review goes. But now I am kind of curious. I'm going to pull up really quick Rotten Tomatoes and see where it's sitting right now. So it's at 83 and 84. But I think fan bases now like different types of movies. They want action, and there's a lot of good parts to it. The blood and the guts and the gore, there's a lot of that. But man, the jump scares are just fucking stupid. I didn't care for them. But yeah, the experts and the fan scores are very similar, but there's not a lot of them yet. There's only 131 experts and only 500 fan scores. So I'm kind of curious to see the normies, the other people, if that brings that score down, kind of like Prey. Prey was so high, and then when the casual audience started watching it, it gradually went down into the 70s. So I'm kind of curious to see where this goes. But here's one of my biggest problems with this fucking movie right now. And I'm going to tell you, I sat there and I was like, am I watching fucking Joker 3? Because I mean, they literally fucking had like smeared red lipstick like the Joker. You know, I mean, they literally fucking had smeared red lipstick, singing, dancing. I mean, everything that I hated about the Joker, they had it. But what they also had in this movie, a lot of blood, guts, and gore. So I think that and jump scares is what people are raving about. The story it's okay. The opening scene and stuff is amazing. There are a lot of good things about it. And I don't hate the movie, but I just don't ever need to see a fucking like show. This is a scene from the movie when they're like, and somebody earlier today commented on my video saying, I don't think it has the singing and dancing. This is at a fucking dance rehearsal. This is them practicing the dance. Okay. So there's a dance rehearsal.
Well, isn't she a singer though?
Yes. So, but do we need a whole fucking movie about her singing and dancing and stuff? There is a lot of it. I just don't give a fuck about her or her singing and dancing. So, but then also, so this is obviously, I don't know if this is a screen grab or if this is something the cast did afterwards, but she's seeing all these people smiling in a hallway. They all move like their Broadway fucking play. Like You know, like in a Broadway show, everything is overemphasized. All their movements, like this, like the way they're crawling is not scary. They're crawling like they're in a Broadway fucking show and they're supposed to be demons. So no, this is a horseshit scene. And then this is half the fucking movie too. Singing and dancing. And I have a few other, because there's a lot more scenes that involve dance rehearsal, singing rehearsals, preparation for the performances. It's so much. I mean, like the way I describe Joker is the same. So it did have some good stuff, some good blood, guts, gore, but it had those typical jump scares where they start, here comes the music, boom, 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 boom. Oh, I'm fucking so scared. I didn't know that was coming, like, oh. So so much typical crap from new movies. I wasn't a fan, but it did have a lot of good stuff. So I gave it a 5, or a 2.5 out of 5, right down the middle. But and here's the thing. I hope everybody that goes and watches it loves it. Last thing I want to see though is more Joker, and it was just like Joker to me, but with the blood.
I want these films, even if I don't like them, like Smile 2, to make a lot of money, because then they'll make more movies, they'll make more sequels, they'll do more horror films, put them in the theaters, and then hopefully they will make a lot more money than this mainstream garbage that's out there. So I may not like Scream, I'm not Scream, but Smile or Smile 2, but I want them to make money.
Yeah, agreed. And like talking about stuff that's not mainstream, that's where the beauty of it is that, if we get even one movie like The Substance, for every 5 movies we get like like The Crow or like this Smile 2, I'll take them, because The Substance was so damn good. And now, have you seen that yet, John?
The Substance? No, I'm avoiding everything about it until I can. Okay. So
I won't say anything.
I don't. Yeah, I've avoided reviews and all that, because there's little stuff coming out about it. I've heard it's really good. I want to see it.
I won't say anything other than it is my favorite movie of this year.
Better than Speak No Evil?
Better. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And better than Late Night with the Devil. I mean, it is.
Oh, love Late Night with the Devil.
Top notch. It is top notch. No, and so I think those are my 3 favorite movies of the year right now.
Okay.
They're all great. So, but anyways, so I don't. We've already been live for 2 hours, and I know you got up early in the morning, go to work, so we won't do a full dive into Terrifier. But and what was the other movie you mentioned that we hadn't talked about?
Oh, Joker.
So did you? I seem to recall you saying you enjoyed Joker.
Yes, I liked Joker. Filet mignon. I liked it. Yes.
Filet mignon.
Yeah.
What? Okay. So for me, I'll sit here and go like, okay, why would John like it? I mean, it was shot well. The scenes, the acting, everything were fine. But I have a problem with a 0 body count from the Joker. I have a problem with him dying at the end, because he never even fucking faces the Batman. I'm trying to figure out,
because he's not the Joker. He's Joker.
That's the biggest fucking problem. Yeah.
And that's it is okay. So with me even saying that I liked it, I have a lot of problems with it. I think that it should have basically the film should be the Penguin. They should have taken the scripts from the Penguin and made that Joker too. Because Penguin is what Joker should be as far as the rise of a crime boss goes. And the Penguin is a great show. And,
it is fucking amazing.
And I just wish that they would bring friggin' Batman into it. But, oh, well, maybe at the last
episode. Season 2 or something.
Yeah. But it's the Joker, and I'll just call it Joker too, is it should have been The Sopranos in prison. So it should have been like, what if Tony Soprano went to prison and how he controlled the prison and how he controlled the outside. And he's in the prison and, you know, somebody would come up to him and Tony would go like, see that guy? The guy who was before cigarettes. Go fucking stab him. And that's just for cigarettes because that's prison.
Yeah.
And that's how the Joker should have been, is that he should have been, or Goodfellas, that great scene where they're all in prison, but they got the TV playing, they got the records playing, the guards are bringing in like the really nice wine, you know, they're making the Italian food. It should be like that, and we didn't get that. And that really bothered me a lot, but I didn't mind the movie as it is, maybe because Todd Phillips has talked about for 5 years that this is not the Joker, because it wouldn't match time-wise. Because remember, he was already an adult in the first movie, and then when he meets Bruce Wayne's just like 8 years old or like 10 years old. So he can't be the Joker. There's no way he can be. But it should have only been one movie. They should have done two. This is another one of those films where Warner Brothers said, if you don't do it, we're going to do it anyways. So Todd Phillips got 20 million, Joaquin Phoenix got 20 million, and Lady Gaga got 12 million. And that was the budget. If you look it up, those three salaries were the budget of Joker.
Yeah.
I think it's off by like 5 million maybe. Wow. But it's and Lady Gaga has commented that she's pissed because all of her scenes were cut. So I guess there is the actual creation of Harley Quinn, and it's not there. And they lost out on many opportunities, like the bombing at the courthouse. I loved, and then and that should have been by like the beginning of his organization. You know, like that's the two guys put him in the car. Those should have been his first two guys. But instead, he runs away, and he's just. And the thing is, Joker's name is not Arthur Fleck. The Joker's name is I'm blanking on his second name, but his last name, but it's Jack, and which they kind of give you with Tim Burton's Batman, is that Jack Nicholson's Joker is Jack, and so Arthur Fleck was never meant to be the Joker, never the Joker. He's a Joker,
and that's if that was the thought going into the first one, I would have this movie still so like disappointed. It was so disappointing. But if it was like not going to be the Joker, if it was a Joker in the first one, I would have never cared to see it. I don't think I would have ever watched it. I don't think it would have gotten the I don't think it would have made the money. I don't think people would have cared about it like they did. But so in a sense, the studios played us, you know, and said, "Oh, we're going to make a Joker movie." And because if it was like some other Joker, a knockoff Joker, nobody would give a fuck. I mean, do we love Joaquin Phoenix? Yes. But if you're telling me you're making a knockoff Joker, you know, like I don't want to see, you know, a GoBots movie. You know, I want to see a Transformers movie. I don't want the knockoff. You know, but I want the real thing. And so I don't know. But here's my biggest problem. If it's not the Joker, then why was Harvey Dent the prosecutor? Why are we even in the world of Batman? If
it shouldn't have been. He should have never met Bruce Wayne in the first film. It should have been a self-contained. But remember, Warner Brothers for the first movie had absolutely no faith in this movie, and they got outside investors. They thought this film was going to bomb, and it didn't. Instead, it made over $1 billion, and they had to pay off all of those investors. So Warner Brothers really made no money off of this movie. So that's why they went all in on Joker 2, was so then they could make that money back. Now, kind of like how Wonder Woman with Patty Jenkins, that made over $1 billion, and they didn't think it was. So they gave her complete control over Wonder Woman 1984, you know, saying, okay, you can do whatever you want. And then Wonder Woman 1984 has two beginnings. One is on the island and then one's in the shopping center. And they said, cut. You need to cut one of those endings because the movie's already like 2.5 hours. And Patty Jenkins said, no, if I cut anything, I'm not coming back for Wonder Woman 3. And they went, okay, your movie made over $1 billion. Okay. And it ended up being a horrible movie that sucked and lost money in the same way that Joker did, because they gave, Todd Phillips didn't want to make Joker 2. Nobody wanted to make Joker 2. Joaquin Phoenix said that the idea for Joker 2 came in a dream. And so that's where this came from. And that, like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, like Matrix Resurrections, these and Joker 2, these are 3 movies, and 2 of them are Warner Brothers, that were going to be made without the creators, no matter what. And so Todd Phillips hopped on it. And I believe that he hated that everybody loved Joker, because I think that he was expecting it to bomb. And they gave him complete control over this. So he made a movie that said, fuck you, to comic book fans, to Batman fans, to Joker fans, to fans of the first movie. And maybe that's why I like it more than a lot of people do, is The Hangover, which are sitting right back here, is my favorite trilogy of all time. I love every Hangover movie. And the third film doesn't even have a hangover in it. It's a mid-credits scene.
Yeah.
So he went in a completely different direction with the third one, because he probably didn't want to make it. They paid him money. He's like, well, fuck it, we're just going to do this other film, but I got to put in the hangover part, so we'll just do it during the credits. Yeah. So, but it has a lot of problems. But I didn't hate it. I kind of liked it for what it is. Plus, I'm a huge musical fan. I mean, when I lived in Pasadena, my friends and I would go maybe twice a month into LA, and we would see all the big musicals. My mom and I, when I lived in Northern California, would be going to San Francisco and see all the musicals. I have a stack, it's probably even thicker than that, of playbills that I've seen some of the like Tony Award winning actors and actresses that from these plays and musicals that I saw. So the musical stuff didn't even bother me.
Well, see, and here's the thing. I've been to countless Broadway shows in New York City, and I don't have a problem. I enjoy Broadway shows, but I don't want them in a movie about the Joker. I don't want them at all there. And that's my if this was never called the Joker and it was about a guy who's losing his mind and and all that, I still wouldn't have cared for the singing and dancing in that movie. Like, I don't singing and dancing in movies. I don't like it all. Musicals on TV, I don't care for it all. Broadway shows, it's a different story when you're seeing it in person. But I don't know. I just, because of the fact of what they did with it. And here's the thing. I was like totally against Lady Gaga being Harley Quinn. I thought I'm nothing against Lady Gaga. I you know what, surprisingly enough, enjoy some of her music, and I have nothing against her as a person. Except I don't know what the deal was wearing a meat suit that one time. She wore that seat.
Because she's weird and she wanted to be Madonna for a while, and Bjork did those bizarre things. I have no problem with Lady Gaga. I'm a huge fan of Bradley Cooper's A Star Is Born, and I thought that she did a great job in that, and so did he. I thought that they got total snubs at the Oscars, and I thought that she was a good choice to play Harley. The one thing that really annoys me with this is how I wanted to see the TV movie. I wanted them to play something kind of like what they did in Scream, where they where you see the kind of campy TV movie that they made with the other actors. I wanted to see somebody play Joaquin Phoenix. I wanted somebody to be, I wanted to see a parody of Joker in Joker 2, but they talk about the TV movie and we never see it. Yeah. So that I thought was kind of a drag, because but it's I don't know, it's toxic fandom It's how she uses him, and once he isn't Joker, he's just this weak, sad man that she leaves him, and which I feel is a lot of stuff. I mean, if you maybe meet somebody, you know,
but here's the thing: if you meet somebody and they fall in love with you for what they think you are, and then you turn out to be somebody different, you can't be mad at them for leaving. You know, I have no problem with the fact that she left him after he turned out not to be the Joker. When he's like, I'm just, a crazy douchebag. I think she had every right to leave him because he wasn't what he was. That would be like, at the beginning of any relationship, you try to impress the girl. And then they find out who you really are later. And if it's a lot different than what you feed them up front, they're not going to like you. It's not going to work out. So you're better off being friends with somebody before, having a relationship. So I don't have a problem with her leaving him when it turned out, especially when he turned out not to be the Joker, because at least they gave us that Harley Quinn wasn't having a relationship with the guy who wasn't the fucking Joker. Let her go on to become Harley Quinn and really turn into the Joker's love interest or whatever, she becomes in whatever, iteration of the book or the movie or whatever.
Yeah, it's because if you're going off the comics and stuff, Harley Quinn is absolutely obsessed with Mr. J. And so it's I don't think that she would ever like him just as a normal person as Arthur Fleck. And that's and a lot of people criticize the court scenes for just repeating stuff that happened in the first film. That's what happens in a courtroom. You repeat everything that the person did. And I liked that the Joker took over and fired his lawyer, because that's what Ted Bundy did. Bundy fired his whole team and represented himself. Also, there is a John Wayne Gacy connection to this movie. If you notice in the Donnie and Marie kind of segment of Harley Quinn and Joker, it says on the back Pogo. And Pogo is the name of John Wayne Gacy's clown.
Oh.
And Todd Phillips has a connection to John Wayne Gacy. Is when he was in college, he made a student film and reached out to John Wayne Gacy before he was caught.
Wow.
And had him paint a poster for him.
Oh, that's crazy. Huh.
Yeah. So there's already clowns way back then.
See, when it comes to the court scenes, this is what if Joker 2 was going to be good, I was okay with the court scenes. I was okay with the jail. I was okay with the way him and Harley Quinn met. I was okay with a lot of that. The singing and dancing, we could have really toned that down. But where I would have just made the left turn is once the wall blew up in the courthouse and he got away, I would have turned him into the Joker at that point. I would have said, okay, you could see in a Batman show or something, the Joker being broke out of jail, his posse or whatever. He always had, a foolproof plan or something that was going to get him out of trouble. So it didn't matter. And so, yes, the idea for him taking over and representing himself, I loved that too, because I thought that was him going like, I don't give a shit what the jury decides, because I'm walking out of here a free man one way or another, and if they would have done that, that would have been brilliant. But yes, Todd Phillips' big, fuck you to the studios or whatever is really, I get it. You want to give the studios a fuck you, but you got to take into account your fans too. And looking, and it's not surprising, that he was a producer for that with the okay, let me A Star Is Born. He's one of the producers for A Star Is Born. Not surprising. But back to Lady Gaga, I thought she was fine. I thought she did a good job for what it was, for the role that was written in that movie. I thought she was fine. I have no problems with her, but going in, I was just like, you take Harley Quinn from being, and I guess the thing is, Lady Gaga is not an ugly woman, but in my mind, in no way does she hold any weight compared to what's her name that did Barbie and stuff.
Margot Robbie. Yeah,
thank you. So I just, she's not on that class of like hottie or whatever. And so to me, I just go, But would Margot Robbie be as good of a singer and worked out for this story that we got? No. So I think the casting was fine. I was okay with that. It was just, the story was like, when a director gives a fuck you to the studios, you can't give the studios a fuck you when it impacts a franchise that so many people love. If it's a one-off movie, if it was something he did, if Joker was his creation and he didn't want to do a sequel, he could do a fuck you. John Carpenter, he didn't want to do, whatever sequels or whatever it was, with the Halloween franchise. That's his franchise. He created it. He could do whatever he wants with it. Not the Joker. He can't do that with the Joker.
But these studios allow them to still do it. I mean, if you look at something like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, a lot of people hate that film, but I love Michael Myers with a beard and that he's in like the big, with the hood on. And I love that. I think it looks great because how many times have we seen Michael Myers just in the same mask over and over and over again? And who knows what they would have done if somebody else had done part 2. Even the Matrix Resurrections is kind of a fuck you to Matrix fans in a way. And even one of the Wachowskis didn't want to do it. It was just one of them who took it on. But once again, I liked Matrix Resurrections. I liked the direction that it went because it's not the other 2 Matrix movies or 3 Matrix movies. So I have a bunch of issues. I have a bunch of problems with Joker 2, but I did like it for what it is, but I did not like it as a sequel.
And that's fair. That's fair. I get that. Metal God says Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe could play anything he wants. I love Willem Dafoe. He's a phenomenal actor. But as a Joker, yes, it would be great. Yes. Balzer has a relationship with water bottles. And if you can see his thumbnail now, it is me deep throating a water bottle like from my review. That's amazing.
Good for you.
So man, the way that girl, part of the reason I had such a problem with Smile 2 is, wait till you watch it. The girl, and somebody said, oh, it's because of her her craving for alcohol. She's trying to get a drink so she doesn't crave alcohol. Fuck you. I don't accept that. Not you, to the person who commented that. But if that's the argument, I reject that argument, because if I'm craving alcohol, no way is water going to slow that craving down.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. So if that's the argument, but this girl, the way she drinks these water bottles, most people put the water bottle and drink it. No, she goes full fucking Napoleon Dynamite. And sucks it down. And it's like she can't chug water. So it's like she's struggling to get this whole thing down. And then at some point during the movie, somebody says something, why did she, whatever. And it's like, well, she says something like, every time something happens, I'm supposed to have a glass of water. That's not a glass. And it's not one of these bottles. It's one of those big fucking water bottles, one of those smart water bottles or whatever. And it's like, nobody needs to chug that much water, and not that many times in one movie. So I just wonder if there was some product placement or something with that. There might have been. It drove me nuts. It absolutely.
But if she can put that whole water bottle in her mouth and chug it down, I would like her phone number, please.
Right. Well, and that's what everybody said. Yes. So, just the way she drinks water. I'm like, she should. there's rumors now that there's going to be a Napoleon Dynamite sequel. There was like all of a lot of the cast and people were together recently, and whether that happens, who knows or not. But if there is a Napoleon Dynamite sequel, maybe she could try out to be a cousin or something, and she could chug water the way he chugs a Gatorade or whatever. But if he didn't like the movie he made, then he shouldn't have signed on to do the sequel. Agreed. Not send a fuck you to the fans that love that intellectual property. I agree.
$20 million says a lot, and you'll make a movie that you don't want to make for $20 million.
And I agree. I'll go. Yeah, I'll go take a shit in the front yard for $20 million. I don't care. You tell me what to do. Yeah. 20
but
million
he shouldn't have. We should not have there was no reason to make a sequel to this unless you're going to make Scarface. If you're going to make Joker Scarface as he rises through the ranks and shoots everybody and does a ton of drugs, and you could, because it's Todd Phillips, you could even have like the Joker butt fucking some guy in prison or whatever it is. You go all out with it. You make it disturbing. You make it, because that's what the media wants. Remember with the first film, the media was the one saying, oh my God, this movie's going to destroy the world. We're going to have riots and fights and stabbings and shootings. And none of that happened. And it's almost like Todd Phillips played it safe and went the opposite direction and gave us a musical. So that way those people won't go to the movie. Instead, you'll get people who like Glee,
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Anybody who liked Glee should go see Joker too.
I did not like Glee.
I'm out of Diet Coke. I'm drinking water like a normal person now. Quick question, John and OGP. What do you think Gladiator 2 is going to do next month after almost 25 years? I love Denzel Washington. I don't know that I give two fucks about this movie. What are your thoughts, John?
The last bunch of Ridley Scott films have bombed. He had a hit with Alien Romulus because he was, one of the producers and I guess had a big hand in it, but his directed films are bombing. We don't need a sequel, and he wants to turn it into a franchise.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I love Denzel. I am getting sick and fucking tired of Pedro Pascal. He is in everything now.
Yeah.
And I get it. You strike while, the iron's hot, but like fucking come on.
He's Mr. Fantastic in the Fantastic Four film. Come on. Okay. Really? This guy?
Going back to a previous conversation, I have never seen one of the X-Men movies. So, and Fantastic Four is X-Men, right?
No.
Oh,
they're two totally different things.
Oh, fuck. Okay. I didn't know. So then I could also say I've never seen one of the Fantastic Four movies.
Wow. Okay. Okay. I actually just rewatched the ones, the last two, the Fantastic Four and then the Rise of the Silver Surfer. I just rewatched those a couple of days ago.
Yeah. So. I've never seen him. I just know he's been in like Star Wars, and he's been in. Was he Pedro? Was he the Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't believe he was the voice, but I believe that he was the guy in the costume.
In the suit.
Yeah. Oh, well, but before we get out of Joker 2, because we can get out of that in 1 second, I do want to mention the ending. And with the Joker getting so what is your take on the ending of, hey, Joker, or hey, Arthur, you have a visitor, and there are rumors to what this is that he has no visitor and that the guards sent him out to get shanked. Yeah. One of the rumors is it's Harley Quinn with their kid that he was going to go visit before, then he just got shanked. The guy just happened to be there. But that is against Christopher Nolan's wishes. That is supposed to be the Heath Ledger Joker.
Yeah.
Because we see him do the cuts, which I thought was stupid, because it's better with the lies. My dad did this, type of thing. But I did kind of like how it was all blurred out. What was your take on that?
So the ending in my mind is pretty clear cut. There was no visitor. Harley Quinn dumped him. She was gone. The guards earlier in the movie hated when he put them on blast or he mocked them or made fun, and they already beat his ass once. He did that again later on in court. He talked so much shit and threw the guards under the bus and everything. So they were clearly pissed off at him. And when he came back, they were all being nice and friendly to him. You knew there was something going to happen. So I thought the end was fairly predictable with who was going to kill him. When they said, "Oh, you have a visitor," I knew right away there's no visitor. He was going to get shanked and the guards were going to look the other way. So I in my mind, there it's clear there was no visitor. It was just the guards, were just they were pissed off at him for what he said in court. So that's where I stand with that.
Yeah. I mean, it would be. I don't ever think we would get a part 3 to this because it did bomb. I mean, this film could bankrupt Warner Brothers, even though, I mean, they were already practically in bankruptcy. But you're introducing characters for a film that's not going to happen, like you mentioned. Harvey Dent, and he does get, which is not how it's done in the comic book. Batman accidentally throws acid in his face in the comic book. Actually, Batman Forever is closer. But you're introducing Harvey Dent, and we're never going to see him again, most likely.
Yeah. No, and that's where if it wasn't going to be the Joker, then just separate it. Don't make it in Gotham. Never reference Gotham or anything. It just I don't know. It was a well put together movie. The cinematography was fine. The acting was fine.
Oh yeah, it's beautifully
made.
The
story was so.
Yeah.
But yeah, Metal God. I don't think John is into water sports in the type of water sports you're referring to. but
it depends on the girl I'm with. But okay.
Yeah. Water sports and Cleveland Steamers. I'll take a pass. I'm all right. Oh shit! Look at that. Yankees came back to beat Cleveland to go to the World Series tonight. So Yankees are heading up to the World Series. Cleveland.
I love football.
Yeah, I know you do. So should we talk hockey or golf next? What do you want to go to?
How about women's volleyball?
Ooh, okay, yes. Yeah, that can be entertaining at times. So Terrifier 3. That's a nice case you have that in there, sir.
Thank you. Loved it.
I wish that they would have. This is the tough part. There's so much like what's her name? Sierra goes to sleep and then wakes up and she's tied up and the aunt is tied up and the brother's now dead and all these things are happening that all occurred while she was asleep. I have so many fucking problems with that. Let's not even talk about the kids because that's subjective. I
will say this. I have no problem with the kids being killed. I love that, and I did watch your review, which I told you. I do love that Art is a terrorist, technically. I think it's great that he set off a bomb, because it's just, I know a lot of people don't like him using the handgun. I love the handgun.
I thought the handgun was hysterical. I mean,
people criticized him for that from part 1 on. But I don't have a problem with the kids' part because it just takes it one step further. It just makes it even bigger and worse.
I just the whole mall thing in general. The more I think about it, it's if you're there at a mall and you want to kill everybody, okay, then go full Joker status and have a lot of bombs. Whatever.
It's a $2 million budget.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. The film's made $18 million on a $2 million budget.
No. I get it. And that's where I understand the Terrifier fans are going to be there. I understand it. But as far as somebody like myself, I didn't care for the first one. I didn't care for the second one. This one was not going to pull me in for what it was. I thought the opening scene of the movie being an off-screen kill, I thought was lame. If you want the opening scene to kill a kid and be shocking, fine. Then fucking be shocking and have that kill on camera.
No, because then the sister goes upstairs to find him.
So,
and
but
that's
and
when
now
we see it.
And then here's my other problem. If Art is such a ruthless killer and he's just going to kill everyone, doesn't care who, why does the sister survive?
Oh, we don't know. She's dead. She's dead. He waves to her underneath the cabinet, underneath the sink. She's dead. He murdered her. We just didn't see the I think that beginning with us not seeing him actually kill the kid is, are these people, being the filmmakers, going to go that far?
Yeah.
And they did. So it's like, oh, we didn't see the kid actually get killed, but she opens up the door and there's his mutilated body. And then people are like, oh shit, what are we into?
Yeah, I felt like unless I saw or had confirmation that she was killed, I felt like he let that one go. But anyways, the stuff with the kids, I get it. Certain people, are going to be like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. You're a killer. Go kill. But I thought they could have done something so much, even if you want to bomb the place, even if you want to blow it up. Why was he handing out regular toys? He should have been handing out a bunch of boxes. And then the kids started opening up the boxes, and their parents in the boxes should have had body parts or something in it, or whatever.
Well, because he's screwing around.
Yeah.
The bomb, he was handing out these things because the bomb was eventually going to be going off anyways.
Yeah.
So nobody's commenting on his suit being bloody.
Yeah.
He's going up there.
No, and that's another major flaw too. Why the fuck is nobody panicking when they see this bloody clown playing to be Santa Claus? That was kind of like a plot line. I'm like, what the fuck? They're all sitting there and Santa Claus is all of a sudden a bloody clown and nobody has a problem with it.
He doesn't have a ton of blood on him, but
but he's clearly not Santa. He's still in clown makeup and everything. it's something has changed. I would not have sent my kid up to go sit, and I know the one kid went and the mom is calling him back or whatever, but I had a problem with that.
Well, and also they're all, the parents and stuff aren't really paying attention to the Santa up there. The one kid does go up because she's like, oh, Santa. And it's not until the kid gets up there until it is. So when I did my review of this, which is funny, is I now do these things called short reviews. And Jonathan Moody and myself did one for Civil War, which has 100 more views than the Terrifier 3 one. I would have thought Terrifier 3 would have got much more, views.
Because it's more relevant right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's weird that Civil War, is getting more. But I mentioned this in my review, and somebody commented, excuse me, that I said, I bet this movie was 3 hours, and they cut it down to like a little over 2. And somebody said, when it comes out on Blu-ray, it is going to be 3 hours. It's going to be like a 3-hour cut. And, because near the end, like you mentioned, you sometimes you think it's a dream. The brother is killed off screen, which is weird. There's you think that she's having all of these bizarre visions, and they end up being real.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the movie was cut. I think that they said, no, we're not going to pull a Terrifier 2. People hated it being that long. I didn't, but I would be all for a 3-hour cut of this movie. It's my second favorite out of the 3. So I really liked it.
There's too many problems, and I understand $2 million is not the biggest budget in the world. We won't even go into the fact that for whatever reason, it was grainy as fuck look like they shot it on VHS or something. I don't understand the quality of the footage, why they chose to go that route. Sitting there in a theater on opening night going, what the fuck are we watching? Why is it grainy?
I didn't see that. I didn't see grain. It looked fine to me.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's I'm sitting in the theater with 5 other filmmakers, and we're all like, why the fuck does the picture look like this? But here's part of the problem. Okay, so Sierra is all like fucked up because Art the Clown is coming. He's gonna, she needs her brother to come, so the brother can be there and they can be safe. So the uncle's got to go get the brother. And then all of a sudden, oh, I gave her a drug and she went to sleep. But the uncle hasn't even fucking left yet. If she's so panicked and freaked out that he has to go get the brother, how the fuck is she going to go like, okay, I'm going to go take a pill. I'm going to go lay down and eventually fall asleep. And the uncle hasn't even left yet. You would not be able to go to sleep. You'd be like, fuck that pill. I'm going with the uncle to go get my brother. Or you would have been freaking out. You need to fucking go get him. Go get him. Go get him. What are you doing? You stop to take a shit and read the newspaper? What is it? You go get the brother. She goes upstairs, goes to bed. How long did that process take? In my mind, that had to take at least a half hour. And the uncle's still there. There's no way in fuck she would have been like, okay, I'm just going to go to bed and wait and just trust that the uncle's going to go get him, when now she's fearing that Art the Clown is going to come kill him. So I have major problems with that. Maybe some of that will get resolved in a longer cut, which I'll never watch. But you cannot argue with the fact that she went to bed after she was freaked out about the brother and the uncle hadn't even fucking left yet. That is a huge problem. And then her character, Sierra's character, she gets out. Okay, we understand she's been locked up. Traumatic thing happened to her. We get it. I kind of like the backstory. The girl there with the that wound up getting killed. That was kind of cool. The shower scene and stuff. But the girl that wanted to interview her and all that.
The true crime. Yeah.
Yeah. So that stuff, I kind of like that. And her, dealing with, the trauma, the PTSD from the part 2, that's fine. But then once she gets to the uncle's house, her character has no direction at all. There's no arc in that character at all. It's just, we're just going to sit here and wait for Art to show up. But they didn't portray it as that. They did. Damien Leone, I don't think he wrote a good movie at all. I think he couldn't come up with better ways to kill, so he decided to have a bomb. I don't think he had a great ideas as far as what to do, because the shower scene, I mean, it's basically, instead of cutting the girl in half upside down in the first one, it's cutting the guy in half. So there was nothing original about that. It was in a different place, but it wasn't original, and then you have a fucking shower scene. This movie, if it got a rating, was going to be rated R. And then you have a shower scene and you can't even show a fucking nipple. And this wasn't Lauren Lavera. This wasn't your lead. This was a supporting actress. Who gives a fuck about her? Show a nipple if you're going to put her in the shower. If we got to see a dick and balls.
Yeah, that did bother me, that the film is unrated and she's in the shower and she's terrified because he has a chainsaw and she's still doing this.
Yeah. No. Like, they should have just went full Dustin Ferguson and had her in a fucking bra.
I mean, that's why I think that there was a 3-hour cut, and there's in the studio said, look, we're not doing this because we need to get in showtimes. You can have a 2-hour movie and maybe release like a longer cut later, because there's even scenes where, like, remember, Art goes to the fraternity and he actually opens the door and like lets people in, and that's cutting to the brother, who I guess you're supposed to maybe think is at the fraternity, but he's not. He's someplace else because he says, I'm going to the party. If he was in the fraternity house, he would have already been at the party because it's there. So he's in a different location, but the editing makes it look like he's at the fraternity house. And then we never see anything in the fraternity house once Art enters.
Yeah.
So I think that there is a ton missing from this film. I think that there's,
Yeah.
but I still loved it. The audience got into it. There is some repetitive stuff in it. Like the chainsawing up the balls, which could have been. I don't think that we needed that a second time, but this is a chainsaw instead of a hacksaw. But I still really liked the movie. I'm looking forward to. I believe they're already starting part 4.
Yeah.
He did talk about a part 5, but I did hear that he's going to be making a film for Sam Raimi. So who knows how long he'll be
hopefully
involved.
He doesn't write it.
In the series. I
think he's done. There's new rumor out or word out that that part 4 will be the final Terrifier movie. Damien Leone intends on wrapping up the franchise. Art the Clown, he'll be done with him. So I think it's just, that news came out in the last few days. So I think we're just going to get a 4 and then he's going to move on. But these are not great movies. These are movies that people like because they're bloody, they're gory, a crazy killer who's funny. The story is atrocious, and all 3 of them. The storylines are just so dumb. Maybe he can get in. Maybe he can go work on something with Sam Raimi or somebody else. But maybe seeing something that somebody else wrote and maybe watching him direct it, maybe I'd be interested in that. But I don't think I have no desire to see a part 4 in this franchise. I've given him 3 movies and I just, it wasn't. And here's the thing, the stuff with Daniel Roebuck and,
you mean my friend Daniel Roebuck?
Oh yeah. That's just like me. Yeah. Like me and my buddy, Eric Roberts. Yeah. Because we're on set one day. Yeah. I got him on speed dial now. But that stuff was funny. The way he peed on Daniel Roebuck's leg. There was some funny moments right there. That bar scene was great. The way he stopped outside and looked in and saw the Santa suit and got all excited. That was phenomenal. But the stuff with, and I just wonder, is Damien Leone, I'm not trying to start rumors or anything, but is he banging Lauren Lavera? Because that's what it seems like. It seems like he's maybe kind of into her or something. I don't know. You see pictures of them at premieres and stuff like that. I don't know. I just kind of wonder if he's.
If he is, good for him. She is hot.
Yeah. No problem with that. But anyways, I don't know. There's so much of, and then the end was just a flat out ripoff of Evil Dead. So, the floor opening and the chainsaw. I mean, like there was so many things that I was just like,
I wouldn't put the Evil Dead thing in there. I mean, because we know that art is, well, we don't know really what art is, but we do know that either it's supernatural or he's an alien. So the opening up to hell, and then the little niece falls in. So now we know probably part 4 will probably be more Evil Dead. And then I do like him just kind of getting on the bus at the end and leaving. I don't want Damien Leone to. I don't want any idea of what art is, except for just kind of like what we hear. I don't want some lame thing like all of a sudden a UFO lands and like 20 Art the Clowns get out because we're all aliens, and they kind of take him back like he's from like this
I
planet.
agree with you on that. Yeah, that would kind of spoil things. Just leave him up for the interpretation of the audience. You don't need to explain that. See, and that's another great thing. When he was earlier in the movie, when he's missing his head and he takes that other guy's head and he's holding it above him, that was fucking hysterical. There were some good moments to this, but it was just like, we didn't have any character arc with Sierra. We had a lot of plot holes. We had storylines left unfinished. And there was so many problems with the movie. You can't, like, I accept anybody likes it or whatever, but I reject that it was a good movie. It had its fun moments, but the story is just full of holes and lackluster. I mean, it was like they went for the over the top kills and stuff to kind of make people forget about the lack of story.
It's going to be hard to outdo part 2. And I mean, part 2 was so outlandish. And plus the kill of the friend who's on the bed, and he just keeps like pouring salt on her. And it's just this poor girl who did absolutely nothing. It gets the worst death in the entire movie. So I think that they're trying to outdo that maybe with the shower. But it's going to be hard to me. He struck gold with part 2, and which I think is better than part 1. And it did have a complete story. It just didn't answer the art questions, which is fine with me. But I do like part 3. I do think it's a good movie. I do think that it has its flaws. But I have no problem buying it when it comes out. I have no problem watching it again. And I am hoping that there's a longer cut. So some things, I just want scenes to be put back in. Like I don't like that the brother wasn't shown being killed. That's if that's the brother.
That's a pretty fucking huge kill. You're bringing him back from part 2. No. But what I'm saying is he is because he is a character you brought back from part 2. And then he's such an important part of the story, because the uncle has to go get him. And then we just, uncle's dead, and brother's dead. We didn't get any fucking resolution. We just got showed dead bodies. But like what you were saying, if there is some of that is not shown, then great. Hey, if the uncle goes, if they add this in, I would have given him a lot more credit. The uncle goes to get the brother. And while he's picking up the brother, Art kills them both. And then Art drives the car back with the dead bodies. It's fucking great. That would have been fine. And then Art goes in and like wakes her up, to show her what he's done. Fine. But the fact that we went from her going to sleep, which is just fucking insane, to think she could go to sleep when her uncle hadn't even left to go get the brother yet, when she was that worried. I mean, she, if a character's that panicked, she's not going to be able to go to sleep. I don't care. You're not even going to take the pill to put yourself to sleep until the uncle at least leaves, and the fact that all that, there's problems there. But if you gave us all that gap, then yes, it would have been a 3-hour movie, but it would have at least answered some of the questions of how did this happen with characters that were pretty important.
That's if it's not a misdirect. The brother could still be alive. He'll show up in part 4. He just used a head and put the glasses on it. Just like a random head.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
If you're not showing the brother's death, then maybe the brother's still alive. Maybe the brother's not dead.
But have we ever seen Art the Clown decide that he's going to trick somebody into thinking that they were dead? I don't see Art the Clown as a trickster, like trying to show, like, make her think. What would be his MO? What would be his reasoning for wanting to do that? I don't see that in that character.
To torture her.
So, yeah, but I just don't see him. I don't see Art the Clown doing that. So I think the brother is really dead. I don't know. I think it would be lazy writing for the brother to still be alive in part 4. But I don't know. I don't know. I was hoping, and it's funny because I even thought last time at like Amoeba or at Zia, like, well, maybe I should buy parts 1 and 2 because I'm hoping that part 3, being a Christmas Terrifier, I thought that would maybe pull me into the franchise and I would actually, it would finally grow on me. And then thank God I didn't spend money on those movies, because I'll never watch them again. None of them. So yeah, but this is the beauty of it all, is that I'm thrilled that you enjoyed it. That's awesome, because I mean, it's a movie, and if you're going to go spend your time and money on watching a movie, you should enjoy it. And so,
but that's okay. So I'll bring up Joe Lujan. Joe Lujan hates the first two movies. Well, I think he liked the first one a little bit, but hates the second one.
And so does Gold Movie. Apparently, Gold Movie also hates the Terrifier movies.
Well,
so sorry, go ahead.
Joe. I'm not going to say why Joe hates them, but so and last year he would not go see Top Gun Maverick. And so it was just like, so this is this year's Top Gun Maverick for you. It's like, so movies that make a lot of money that people like, you don't want to go see. But he loves Smile too.
Wow.
Yeah. So where was I going with it? Oh, so I told him you should be happy that Terrifier 3 has made $18 million off of a $2 million budget. And he's just like, what are you talking about? Why would I be happy? Because that helps independent filmmakers. It doesn't matter. If I don't like Smile or Smile 2, I still want Smile to make millions of dollars, because then it just helps us make movies and get them into the theater. It doesn't matter if you like them or not. And it's the same thing with Terrifier 3. If you hate Terrifier 3, you should be happy that the film has made this much money. So then other films, one could be unrated. That's a whole other video to get into, of how they got an unrated movie to play in the theaters. And then that other movies now will look at the success, like Blumhouse, or somebody who started off making $2 million movies, $3 million movies, and would instantly make their money back, because then they would make $20 million, $30 million. Yeah. That's what we should be looking at. Not necessarily if Terrifier 3 is a good movie. It should be looked at, what can it do to benefit future independent filmmakers? Yeah. And it's going to help a lot, because now people are going to say, oh, okay, well, I'll give you $2-3 million, release your film in the theater, and let's cross our fingers and hope that it does as well as Terrifier 3. So
yeah, well, and that's one of the things. The idea that every movie needs to be a $200, $300, $400 million budget is just asinine. I mean, you can make an amazing movie with a couple $1 million. And I don't know. I just wanted to see growth as a director. I don't think we got that with Terrifier. I think we were looking for shock value, and we had too many kills. And this is, Luther says it perfectly here. The shock is over after so many killings. Agreed. The movie would tend to get boring. Terrifier movies. Yes. No, if you're going to put a movie out there that's over 2 hours, which this was 2 hours, 7 or 8 minutes, something like that, you've got to give me some story. And we missed so much. And that is part of my problem with it. Derek says, Terrifier 3 is the best, only good part of that movie. The way Terrifier 3 looks. Yeah, I just don't know. Were they going for an old school film kind of look?
I mean,
I don't
maybe.
understand.
I mean, look at the Saw movies. I mean, it's
no, this doesn't. I mean, we saw it at an AMC theater.
Well, I mean, more like story wise, or kills, or whatever it is. And I saw it in the theater. I saw it, opening day.
Great stories. There's so much depth to those stories. And they really follow their rules. And so that's
kind of yes and no. Yeah. I mean, when you really look at, because Jonathan and I are reviewing all them for his channel, and we just got done with Saw 3D. I mean, when you look at somebody like John, when you look at Jigsaw, is one of the most narcissistic people out there. Why do we have to follow your rules? Why do you say that somebody should be put into a trap because you feel that they don't appreciate something? Like that is a complete ego. That's a narcissist. I love the character of John Kramer, but when you kind of watch all of this back to back, you realize that, wow, John Kramer is kind of an asshole.
Okay, I understand where you're going with that, but here's the thing. If you find out that you're dying, and then you see all these other people that just don't appreciate life or appreciate what they have, that's going to piss you off, right or wrong. No, true. And that's why it's illegal. He can't just go around, killing people.
And it isn't just that he had cancer. It's that he had a rod go through him in a car accident. He had the baby that had, his wife had the miscarriage. All of a sudden, they started adding on to him, kind of like what they did with Freddy Krueger, that it wasn't simply just the cancer and appreciating life. It was, plot on top of plot, on top of plot, on top of plot. And it's like, oh, God, okay, so this guy's killing people for a whole bunch of different reasons. And he does, and he says that you shouldn't do it for revenge. And he does do it for revenge. He kills all the people in part 6. Because they wouldn't help him. That's revenge. But yet you're not supposed to do this for revenge, which is why, he doesn't, which is why he has an issue with some of his apprentices.
Yeah. But as a killer, I think the idea, the basis for the Saw movies of, him picking people that either did him wrong. And I mean, revenge is, part of Saw 10. So the idea of who he is and why he kills, I am okay with. The idea of Art the Clown, who he is and why he kills, I am okay with. I just feel like there could have been better ways, more creative ways, more fun ways. Even if you want to kill a bunch of kids, there could have been so many better ways than to bomb them, to blow them up. And I just think that was a lack of a good writer. I'm curious to see, hey, Damien Leone is making a name for himself. Maybe he goes on to do bigger and better things, and we'll see. But I'm not a fan of his writing, and another thing we haven't even really talked about is none of the kills in this movie. I mean, I go back to the first movie with the girl upside down when she gets cut in half. There was the effect. I get it. They had a low budget. I get it. They didn't have the budget. The effect looked like shit. You could clearly see like that gelatin filler stuff, like Miranda uses, like in when she makes like arms or legs or whatever, that gelatin stuff that goes inside there. You could clearly see that's what the body was. It didn't, like, the guts didn't look gory. They did a better job with the guts this time, but there was nothing in this movie that made me go like, oh, that's gross. There was none of all the effects look plasticky. I think they should have, I don't know. They did the effects. There was good blood
because you didn't like it. I mean, that's that.
No,
because that stuff didn't bother me, and I absolutely love this series. I thought it was, but we also know how that stuff is made. We know that it's just a cast of the girl's body.
Yeah,
that's being cut.
Going back to the first movie, the upside down cut scene is there's two main reasons I hate that movie, and I've said this for years, ever since I saw the first one. Was I hated that scene, the way she was cut in half, because the effect looked like crap. And the other reason was the stupid decision to go in that building in the first place.
That is something I will disagree with, and I have disagreed with you on that.
Yeah. But here's the thing: like a good movie, a good horror movie, there are times where you kind of like, it gets you to cringe. And a perfect example, have you ever seen Family Portraits? I just watched this the other day. I have been looking for this for years because somebody recommended Cutting Moments. This is an anthology. This movie right here, there is a scene where I'm like, oh, kind of turning my head because the effects were that fucking amazing. I expected better effects in this movie than the first two. It was fun. The effects were fun. You're throwing blood everywhere and all that. But I just felt like, that when they're cutting the guy in half, the dick and balls are clearly fake. The guts coming out are, clearly, the goofy, sausage guts or whatever they are. I just wasn't impressed. It was fun. Popcorn movie, but a good movie. I don't think so personally.
I'm going to disagree with a lot of that, because they, part one had, got like a cult audience in it, and then they did part two where they kind of threw everything in, kitchen sink, sofa, everything, and a lot of people had issues with that, with the like the running time and some other stuff that I personally really liked. And so I don't think that this would have had a much bigger budget if they thought that this was going to make $18 million. And granted, Smile 2 will probably kick it out of first place, but it will still be second place. It will still be making more money than Joker. I mean, which is amazing that Beetlejuice has now been out for 7 or 8 weeks and it's still doing better than Joker 2. But when I think that, and since Damien Leone does all of the effects, if they thought that this was going to make 18 million, he would have had a much bigger budget. And so I think for what he had, the stuff looked pretty good, especially since he's doing it.
Yeah.
So he would have hired a professional, we would have had, the guys from K&B or whatever do the effects on his films, kind of like what Sam Raimi did, with like Art of Dark, Army of Darkness. And so I cut the guy slack. I mean, because you were saying put bombs all around when like the kids blow up, but he didn't have the money, he didn't have the budget, he didn't have the location to do that. So it was just a single package. When if they gave him 20 million, he could have maybe had 20 boxes and 50 kids being killed.
Well, and that's where I would think then stay in your lane. Give me a better story. Find something more creative. And here's the thing. Neither one of us are right. Neither one of us are wrong. These are just our opinions and our views on it. And that's what makes it great. We're allowed to look at movies differently.
Well, I'm going to disagree with Gold Movie in saying that Damien Leone's career is not going to go anywhere. One, the guy has just that name alone, Damien Leone, will probably get him work because it's a great name. And it's a real name too. His mother actually named him after the Omen. So she's very proud of the movies that he's made. But I think judge him with Terrifier 4, which will have a big budget.
All things got to be in perspective here, though. All things have to be in perspective. So yes, Smile 2 has already blown Terrifier out of the water. It's already made $23 million, and this is in a couple days. So so it is a bigger budget. People know about it. It got the marketing that Terrifier maybe didn't. But here's the thing. Somebody commented on my review saying that because it was a #1 film in the country, that it was a blockbuster. No, it's not a blockbuster. You look at a blockbuster. A blockbuster is Avengers that gets $1 billion. This made 18 million. It didn't even make the budget of a blockbuster movie.
But but you have to look at it from its budget. It was like they were saying, Godzilla -1, which they're re-releasing in the theaters, is one of the highest grossing movies of the year because it only had a $15 million budget, and with what it made more money technically because of its budget than a Marvel movie or a Disney movie or any of these films, because their budgets were so high there was no way of meeting it. So so if you're making a movie, which is why they said like Scream and Halloween were like the 2 biggest independent movies ever, that's because their budgets were so low and they did so well.
So according to Oxford's dictionary, blockbuster is a thing of great power or size. 18 million is not great power or size. It is a successful movie for the budget and everything. It is extremely successful, but it by no means is a blockbuster. A blockbuster wouldn't be in limited theaters. A blockbuster would be in every theater.
I will disagree that it's a blockbuster. Yeah. Okay. I mean, Independence Day is a blockbuster. But it is the equivalent to a $1 billion movie with the money that it's made compared to its budget.
Well, no, I mean, it's only made $16 million. I mean, you look at like, a movie that even if the budget was 400 million, a movie that's made $1 billion, even, even if they say the cost of the movie double that for the ad revenue and everything, all the other expenses getting in the movies and all that. So even if a movie, let's say a movie was 300 and you double that and made $600 or 600 million with all the expenses, everything. If it makes $1 billion, that's 400 million in profit. That's a lot different than 16 million. But I get it. It based on percentages, the percentage is far greater than any of these big budget movies, because not many movies make almost 10 times the budget. And that's where this is at. Almost 10 times the budget. If it gets a 20 million, a $2 million budget, it's a 10 million, that's a 20, it's 10 times the cost of it. Not many movies do that at all. So is it successful? Yes. But the problem is it is for a very, very small market when you consider moviegoers. And for example, I went to Creep I.E. Con. There's Terrifier stuff everywhere. There's Art the Clowns everywhere. I went to LA Comic Con. I was there for 6 hours before I saw one Art the Clown. And that was the only Art the Clown I saw all day. So when you go into these big things like San Diego Comic Con, there was no mention of Art the Clown at San Diego Comic Con. There's no mention of Art the Clown at LA Comic Con. That is where blockbusters go to live in the world of conventions and stuff. So yeah, at a convention like Days of the Dead, at a convention like Creep I.E. Con, and Midsummer Scream, which we love those conventions, but those are for horror movie fans. And there is a very small market. Just like, Maxine. I thought Maxine was a great movie. It's my least favorite of the trilogy. But I think it made like 12 million bucks or something. It didn't make much money at all. I'm going to see if I can pull that up right now. Maxine is sitting at 22 million since it came out. 22 million worldwide. Smile 2 has already beat that in 2-3 days. So to me, all things in perspective, Damien Leone, for guys like you and I, for folks that hang out with us and watch these videos, he is a big name for us. But in the grand scheme of things, he is a nobody. He doesn't walk, into Universal and just go like, come on in.
He will now.
Maybe I we'll see. That will be determined. And I just wonder, because of my opinion, I don't think the story was good. I thought the blowing up kids and stuff was weak. He could have done so much better. And so I wonder how many people on like the non-horror fans, like the normies or whatever, how many people are going to look at it my way versus your way. I'm not saying one's right or wrong. I'm saying those are our opinions. It'll be interesting to see which way the general normie population perceives it.
Well, with the amount of money that it's made, it's gone beyond its original fan base. So it does now have a new, a whole new fan base that probably watched parts 1 and 2 and then went to go see part 3, where somebody like me has seen them as they came out. So it's got a whole new base on it. And, I think Damien Leone will be able to pretty much do, I'm not going to say whatever he wants, but yeah. he definitely has that ability right now, because if I walked into your office and they said, well, how much did your movie make? And I'm like, okay, well, I heard it was 18 million. I think you just said 16. So we'll say 16. My movie made 16 million. Oh, really? What was your budget? 2 million. I'm going to hire that guy. You just made 16 million.
Yeah,
on a $2 million budget.
But they're going to look. So, what at last I saw was 18.3 million of what Terrifier 3's made.
Okay. So 18. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I don't think you're not just going to look at end results on that small of a scale, because it going to bigger projects and stuff, it's a different animal. You look at the crew and the cast, behind the scenes pictures and stuff. It was a decent size indie film, but it was not the 150 people crew that you would have had for like a Batman movie or something like that. So you just can't hand the reins over to somebody for $100 million movie because they made a successful $2 million movie.
On a different degree, that is what Disney has been doing this entire time. I mean, if you look at their Marvel movies, or, you know, it's all of these films like the Marvels bombing, Eternals bombing, were all given to people who made like award-winning independent movies that are tiny budgets. And for some reason, Marvel said, you know, okay, let's give, you know, this director of this little movie about gypsies, we're going to give that person the Eternal or just Eternals. And when I watched Eternals, and I've seen it recently, it feels there is a lot of walking and talking in that 3-hour movie. And the action scenes weren't bad, but it's just like, fuck, you could tell this is made by an independent filmmaker. So I think that I think that the problem that Damien Leone will have is, okay, we're going to give you this $20 million movie now, this $30 million movie, but you can't do the effects. We have to have a professional company come in. That's going to probably bother him. You know, you can't be as hands-on as you were. And that may be a problem because he is so hands-on that now he has to hand everything over to other people, and that could hurt him, you know, in a way, because then that's going to lose whatever style he has.
Yeah. Oh no. I agree with that. Also, I definitely agree with that, because that his effects are definitely part of his style. But to your point of these indie filmmakers going and making these bigger budget movies and bombing, that their track record definitely doesn't help his chances either. You know, if the track record is these people come up and they make crap, that's going to give these big studios a lot less incentive to, you know, to go out and be willing to give out this money.
Well, that it what I mean by that it only helps us is that a studio will look at somebody and give them a better chance. I wouldn't say like somebody like Joe Lujan, who has done the Immortal Wars and Rust and all these other films, is he said that he did want to go make a Marvel movie. And I said, you shouldn't. It's going to bomb and destroy your career. Yeah. Don't do that. And it's, so I don't think that Damien Leone should immediately hop on something like a Marvel movie or a Star Wars film. He should work with Sam Raimi, do an Evil Dead movie. That's a one location movie. Do an Evil Dead film on a boat.
Yeah.
Maybe a cruise liner or something, and work your way up. But because of the Terrifier stuff, Sam Raimi noticed him, will bring him on board something, and then whatever he makes will hopefully do well. And then from there, he'll work with somebody else, and then it will get bigger and bigger. Instead of going, oh, you made Terrifier 3? Well, okay, well, now we're going to have you go do the new Superman movie, which would be a massive mistake.
Yeah. Well, so here's my thing with Damien Leone. I don't wish the guy any ill will. I have no personal issues with him. You know, when we were there at the conventions and everything, he seems like a very nice guy. So I'm not, you know, hating on him by any means. I'm just trying to, you know, keep in a perspective where, I mean, so maybe the movie's made 18 million bucks, and that's great. You know, it cost 2 million. It's, you know, made so much, and hopefully it really, being the way they funded it and everything, hopefully a lot of that money goes into David Howard Thornton and Lauren Lavera and Damien's pockets. Hopefully they're able to cash in on that one. But I think, just all things in perspective, it's not that movie. There's so many flaws and things that are not on the level of bigger budget movies. And I think I don't think this is going to necessarily open doors for him, maybe to the next level, but it's not going to get him to a $100 million budget. Maybe he'll get, you know, a budget. Maybe he'll do something like Ty West, like Maxine or X or something like that. And that would be great for him. But you look at those movies, they're still lucky to hit $20 million. When, you look at a movie like Deadpool and Wolverine, which whatever their budget was, probably 300 million. It's not going to get him there. He needs to go and do something better and prove himself. If he just said, this is Art the Clown, I'm sticking to Art the Clown. We're keeping this franchise the same. We don't want it to look different. We want the movies to look the same. We want Art the Clown to feel the same. If that's the case, which I don't think Art the Clown feels the same in part 3 than from 1 and 2 personally. But if that's what he wants to keep that, he needs to go do something else without Art the Clown to show that he can. And so maybe doing something with Sam Raimi would be great for him. And I hope it works out. But, but putting in perspective, I was pulling up here, so Terrifier 3, the expert ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, forget the numbers. It has 98, only 98 experts have reviewed it. When you go to looking at bigger budget, bigger movies, the average would be around 400 experts. Deadpool has 406. Alien Romulus has 381. And Smile 2 already, after only being out for a couple days, already has 131. So it already has more, the expert reviews. And this is, I'm not saying right or wrong or whatever. I'm not saying it makes the movie any less. But what it says is common moviegoers don't go see these type of movies. So it's not going to gain him that recognition. I don't.
To a degree, I think that it will, but also 2 of the films that you mentioned were massive studio films. Smile, I don't think that they were expecting it to make, that's Paramount. So I don't think that they were expecting it to make the money that it did. And even with what it did, Smile 2's budget is only 28 million.
Yeah.
It's not a huge budget to get. And Smile itself, its budget was 17.
Yeah.
So they gave him a little bit more. And the director, I don't even think has done anything except for Smile movies. I think that he's only done Smile 1 and 2 and a couple short films. That's it.
Well, hey, maybe Damien Leone can go in there and, and maybe he does, maybe he goes in and gets lucky, but I don't know. I haven't seen enough, out of Damien Leone to say I would after Terrifier 3, I have not a care in the world to go see Terrifier 4. I don't care at all. And so,
I will admit that Terrifier 3 is a lot more rough than part 2, than 1 and 2, because I don't think that he wasn't working under a studio. Now with part 3, he has people, he has to answer to people. So the stuff is going to be faster. He's going to have to shoot, quicker. He's going to have to, so it doesn't look as nice as part 2 does. But it's and like I said, the editing I think it does have a problem, but he made All Hallows Eve, which then was able to make him to do the first feature film, which I liked, and even though it's a different Art the Clown, but I liked the short film, Terrifier. I thought was pretty good, the one at the gas station, and even in Terrifier 3 there is an Easter egg to the first story from All Hallows Eve. It's that the circle one, like the gold circle or whatever it's called, is in Terrifier 3. So he does do a little Easter egg to that short. So yeah. It's hard to say, because even with somebody like Peter Finn, who did Smile 1 and 2, he has a 2018 short film called The Hidden Behind. Oh, The Hide Behind. There we go. Yeah. But then he did the short film Laura Hasn't Slept. Yeah. That's what got him Smile.
But this is the question with Parker Finn, though. A guy, let's just be real. A guy who walks in and gets a budget of $17 million is his first big Hollywood movie and has really nothing but a short film behind him. he knows somebody. He knew somebody. He had connections. I don't know who it was, but he knows somebody. And that's where I don't know that Damien Leone, maybe he will get those connections now. And hopefully he does. And hopefully he goes and makes a whole shitload more horror movies that we all love. And like you talk about, and then hopefully they make money to keep this horror train rolling. But Parker Finn had to have known or been related to somebody.
I mean, maybe I haven't read his whole wiki, but it looks like how he got the job was the same way that James Wan hires people. James Wan finds short films and then gives those filmmakers the chance to make feature films.
Yeah.
But the short films that they do are in the same genre or same type of idea that he gives them the story, that they then gives them the feature film, unlike Marvel, who would take an independent movie about a woman who lives in a trailer, and this is a real example, and then we'll go direct the Eternals.
Yeah.
Like the two aren't related at all. They're not connected. Why would you think that a woman who makes a movie with Frances McDormand, who's kind of like a gypsy who lives in an RV, would be the same type of thing as a superhero movie like The Eternals that is gigantic?
Yeah.
So so I think that if he sticks with, I don't know, give him, like I said, an Evil Dead movie, give him something that's not Art the Clown, and then see if he can prove himself.
Yeah, hey, I'm all for giving him an Evil Dead movie because that guy that did Evil Dead Rise can eat a dick.
I like Evil Dead Rise.
I know you do. It's fucking movie.
I don't see the same things that you do in it. So I just, yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. I'm so glad that, and I don't know if Evil Dead, because so I'm curious now. Evil Dead Rise budget. Do you remember what this budget was?
No, I don't. I looked it up at one point during a review for it, but that was it. So,
okay. Well, Wikipedia says somewhere between 15 and 19 million. Okay. And it did, it's made over 100 million. It made its money. But I'm curious where the numbers are on Rotten Tomatoes with Evil Dead Rise.
I mean, it made some good money.
Yeah, no, it did. It did. I mean, that franchise name alone is going to get it the views. And that's where I wonder, you had mentioned like that, that Terrifier 3 got a new fan base. I wonder how much of that was returning people that went to see it 2 or 3 times. I wonder how much was really new.
I don't know. I mean, I think if you maybe look at the budget from part 1 and then, what it made, and then you look at the budget of part 2, those would be, people coming back from 1 into 2 and probably some new people. And then they hear about part 3 and then they go rent or buy 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went to go see it in the theater, there were people coming in wearing sweatshirts and all that stuff, t-shirts that all said Terrifier or Art the Clown.
So I saw it in a theater in Glendale, California. I mean, right by the heart of LA. And the theater was packed. And when the movie was over, I kind of expected, like, a guy sat down next to me and he goes, I just hope this is a rowdy, fun crowd. There wasn't. There was a few times where the crowd laughed, but at the end, you would have expected like applause or something. Silence.
Well, how often? I mean,
even people applaud in theaters a lot.
I haven't seen anybody applaud in theaters in a long time, and even the Cannes Film Festival, it's all fake. I mean, it's just how they stand. Who's going to stand for 20 minutes or 30 minutes applauding a movie? Please, come on.
No,
it's a
movie. That's ridiculous. But like, okay, a great example, Top Gun Maverick. Well, I saw that opening night. It was actually, I saw it like, I think Tuesday night or something, like the early premiere, whatever. I mean, that got a standing ovation when it was done.
I saw it the first or second night and got no standing ovation, but the theater was packed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, it could be, maybe, I mean, in LA, maybe that, it's just, that where movies are made and shit. Maybe people do things different. I don't know. LA is a weird fucking place, but
I mean, it's possible because I did go see, this is a long time ago. I went to go see Rob Zombie live and nobody was doing anything. They were just sitting there like they were watching Cirque du Soleil or something like that. And he even told the audience, come on, get up, do something, move around,
Oh,
and,
you're talking Rob Zombie in concert.
Yeah.
And it was, wow. I've seen, wow.
And I've seen him like 4 times.
Yeah.
And this is,
oh.
and this is, this was the time where people were just sitting there, like they were watching or Love or something.
I saw him in San Diego, and when they started Thunder Kiss, when you hear that initial dun 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 dun, the whole fucking place, and luckily it wasn't in a building, it was on one of those amphitheaters, but it was like this mob of people all bouncing in sequence, like 20,000 people bouncing at the same time. It was epic. So yeah, I mean, every audience is different, but I'm trying to think what movie. Five Nights at Freddy's was a fucking rowdy crowd. A lot of younger, like teenagers and stuff. Five Nights at Freddy's was rowdy. At the end, applause. And so
and I would say if there's applause to Five Nights at Freddy's, by God, did those people have bad taste. That is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I fell asleep during it. It sucked. God, did that film sucked.
Do you base that off of like the story or the video game or anything, or just because I did not even know it was a video game before going to see the movie?
I based it a little bit off of the game. I based it off of, I watched some videos before seeing it. And I mean, a guy literally does in the movie what I did. He sleeps throughout almost the entire movie. The security guard sleeps.
Yeah. I didn't think it was great, but I thought it was okay. It is way better than that. What is it? Willy's Wonderland or whatever with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
It is, I think it's what Willy's Wonderland, it's maybe not what it wanted to be, but it's definitely a notch up from Willy's Wonderland.
I would rather watch Willy's Wonderland because at least Nick Cage is in it. This to me was so boring. The security guard sleeps through the entire movie. The whole subplot of his brother being kidnapped is not in the game. It is so stupid and so boring. It is one of the worst things I have ever seen in my life. I voted it the #1 worst movie of like last year. It was so horrible. I will never see the sequel. God, was it bad.
See, and that's where, and this is, this is what makes talking movies so much fun. Because I would totally go see a sequel to Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh God.
And there's no chance I'm going to go see another Art the Clown movie. There's none.
And you couldn't pay me. You couldn't take a chainsaw up my balls to go see Five Nights at Freddy's.
And to see, and this is what's so interesting about Five Nights at Freddy's. It's clearly a love or hate movie. Because the experts on Rotten Tomatoes have Five Nights at Freddy's at a 32, which is pretty terrible. It's not The Crow terrible, but it's pretty terrible. So a 32, but the fan score is at an 86. And that's with over 2,500s. So I think a lot of the perception or whatever with these movies is when you have a fan base that goes out there to support, by doing these ratings and that stuff, I think it kind of skews, maybe the numbers one way or the other. But I here's the thing. Like I said, I did not even know it was a video game before going to see it. So I have no problem with anybody not liking it. Was it the most exciting, greatest movie ever? No. But it was okay. It was okay.
My God, I even worked on Night of the Zomghouls, which is just a Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff, and I acted in it, and was one of the like assistant directors on it, and could probably even say one of the producers to a degree. But and that thing was even better than Five Nights at Freddy's, and that was awful. So it's ugh, God, no, I can't. No, and I think it's just because people like Five Nights at Freddy's is why it made a lot of money and why they went to it. Just kids like it, so which is fine.
Unfortunately, Night of the Zomghouls does not have any reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm surprised it even popped up, but it's on here. Let me give it its first rating. 1 or a half out of 5, right? I'll give it a half. I'm kidding.
Be nice and give it 1.
I'm not
we did work 5 days on it. It is, God, it's Will Clausel was the director and writer on that, and he's like, John, we should do an audio commentary from that film, and I'm like, hell no. No, nobody will want to work with me again. And in the same way, I can't do an audio commentary for Meat Massacre 4. Nobody will want to work with me again if I got into that.
Yeah, no. Because that's funny. It has James Duval in it. Oh, that's hilarious.
He was awesome.
What was he in that I just recently watched?
Well, he's of course the rabbit in Donnie Darko. And he's in a ton of indie movies.
Yeah, Donnie Darko's great. No, there was something I just watched with him that was completely fucking terrible. But I was like, oh, like just recognizing the name, being isn't he, what's his name, son? Or is there any relations to Duvall?
I don't think there is, no.
But anyway, that's why he's in Amityville Karen. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Sean C. Phillips worked on Night of the Zomghouls.
Okay.
And so we all got James's phone number. So it says, I'm sure Sean probably called him up and said, hey, will you be in Amityville Karen?
Oh, I think it was Darling Nikki. Was that the movie? No. It's not Darling Nikki. Anyways, there's another movie with him that I saw. It's like some girl's name or something. And The Abduction of Jennifer Grayson. Have you seen that one?
No. I think I've heard of the title, but
it's beyond fucking terrible. But I saw it and I thought James Duval was maybe related to Robert.
No, it's unfortunate because he is a good actor and he was really fun to be around. But he has picked some bad movies, so he's better than what he's in. So yeah, I
mean, but here's the thing. So, yes, James Duval is the son of Robert Duvall. Yes.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Yes. So yeah, you were there in what's it called? Hollywood royalty presence.
Wow. Okay.
Oh wait. Well, or maybe this is a different. Because here they have his name with 1 L, and over here, maybe it is different. But either way, Robert Duvall has a son named James, who kind of fucking looks like the James Duvall from your movie. So I don't know. But anyways, when we were on, and there's a lot of this stuff that I did not put in there. Jordy, what's up? My bad, everybody. I know I'll get caught up comments here. I'm only, I'm like 45 minutes behind in the comments right now because John and I got into this.
And I think I should probably wrap this up soon. We've been on for 3.5 hours.
Yes. No, I know time flies when you're having fun, right?
Yes.
But so the other day at the wrap party for the new movie Heretics coming out, which was supposed to be November 15th, it got pushed back to December, but it will be out this year. The new movie, found footage movie, directed by Jose Prendes, which I worked on as well, will be coming out. And one of the girls at the wrap party everybody was kind of talking about other projects and stuff they had going on. And director Jose tells somebody was asking her about it, and it became a joke the rest of the night because he said it was the movie was, it was like a mini series or something. He goes, it is straight ass. That show is so fucking bad. But she's not the writer. She's not the director. She's just an actor. So it doesn't matter. Actors go out there and do a great job, no matter if your director sucks, if your production sucks, if it's all crap, the actors still have to go out there and do their best and give the best performance possible. It doesn't matter. So, you just have to build your resume. A lot of casting people are not going to look at you sideways because you're in a movie that sucks. They're going to look at your performance. So, but yes, I understand, you see somebody who you really enjoy as like an actor or something, and you're like, why haven't you done anything bigger? Or somebody like James Duvall is like, why haven't you, why are you doing all these shitty movies? Because they're a paycheck, and unfortunately, hopefully at some point he does get into something bigger and better. But John, I will wrap you up here if you want to head out and then say goodbyes to everybody so I can run through a couple of these comments, or I can run through them and then we can wrap it up together. Your choice.
I don't think that there was anything directly.
Not necessarily.
No.
I was basically just going to say, respond to Robert saying thanks for everybody saying to hit the thumbs up button. The trailer for Wolfman, it's not really impressing me. Have you seen that?
Yeah, and I love the director on it, Lee Whannell. I was not the hugest fan of The Invisible Man. I thought that was really horribly written, but looked beautiful. So Wolfman is not excited me, and I think the way that the Wolfman looks is just garbage. It just looks so bad.
I'll go see it, but I'm not expecting. Now, the Nosferatu, I'm very excited about that. I think that looks great.
Yeah.
Halloween 2018 got a huge applause and end. I live in a tiny little town next to Detroit. See, and there are a lot of movies that get applause. Jordy, what's up? Hello and goodbye. Sorry. Ben Masters, what's up? Hello and goodbye. Sorry. Yeah, we've been going for 3.5 hours, and I think we lost about half of our viewers when we deep dove into Terrifier. I think some probably didn't want to hear the spoilers, and some just didn't care. But we had a lot of fun, John. It was a great time, as always.
Yeah, no, I love being on. So I appreciate you guys, commenting and being here and hanging out for as long as you did. So yeah, thanks.
And if you want to do something like, if you're talking about, if you want me to be part of it, doing a zombie movie a week or something like that, just let me know what zombie movie. Anyways, what else have you released lately, or do you have coming up on your channel?
I just released the review that Jonathan and I did for Civil War.
Okay.
So next week, I'm not sure what's coming up yet because I'm going to make something tomorrow. I thought of I should do, so I have the day off tomorrow. I thought of finding 31 horror movies that I think would be good to watch for Halloween.
Oh, nice.
Like I actually own, and then just quickly going through them. Maybe do something like that. But I am doing a one filmmaker on Thursday, which will come out probably a few days after that, with the writer and director of The Mousetrap.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, which I did enjoy. So it's one of those things that now is in public domain. The Mickey Mouse, the Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse is now public domain, kind of like Winnie the Pooh. So they did their own version of that. I liked the movie, and so I asked them if I could interview them, and they said sure. So
nice, very cool.
Yeah.
I just exercise caution when I did my 50 movies, and the reason I went to 50 was because I go, well, I'll do my top 20 movies. I didn't even think of 31. I like that idea. 31 is a good number for the month of October. But I was like, fuck. I started putting all these movies in a list that I loved, and I thought would be good at Halloween. And I was like, I was well over 50. And then so I go like, fuck, how am I going to pick 20 out of this? And then so I thought, oh, screw it. I'll just make 50. And about 40 of them I did own. So then when I had to go put them all back in order, that was kind of quite a bitch. So if you pull them out, but I mean, it's kind of fun to go back to, because maybe you're as you're looking through all of your movies to find something to pull out. Maybe you go like, oh, I haven't seen that in a while. I need to watch that or something. So it's always fun looking through your movies.
Yeah, I mean, I have all of my DVD slasher films in my coffin bookcase.
Okay.
And then all of my Blu-ray slasher films are all together. So I mean, I could just pick from there, but it's going to be yeah, it'll probably just be 30. That's if I do it. So we'll see.
Yeah. Mr. Bones says pull out, hashtag pull out. There you go. You got to pull them out. I'm going to, pardon me while I whip this thing out. But no, well, hopefully you do. And just, let me know what other, videos you got coming up or whatever, and I'll jump in one of these days. So I'm not doing many.
We got our John Carpenter one coming up. So if you're
that
available.
is the 20.
It's Sunday the 27th, and it's the John Carpenter Apocalypse trilogy. So The Thing, Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Madness. We'll record it Sunday, and I'll put it out Monday because I want to do it right before Halloween.
And the good news I have on that is we were supposed to be in production at the time. Production has gotten pushed back until the beginning of November. So so I will be free for that. So Prince of fucking Darkness. And Sharon. Did you hear the controversy at what happened at Son of Monster Palooza with Ozzy?
Oh no, what?
So because Ozzy and Sharon, the whole family, Jack, and the whole family was there. And they were selling this. You wanted to meet Ozzy, you had to buy a $700 package just to get in the room. And then if you wanted, and that was, you got one of their pictures autographed by all of them. But if you wanted something of your own autographed, it started at like $200 on top of that. So it was going to be $900. Like if I wanted to get my Ozzy album signed, $900. Then they didn't fucking sell enough of them. So the second day that he was there on Sunday, they opened it up. You could just walk in without having to buy the $700 and get the fucking $200 autograph. Woo! I would have been furious.
Yeah.
Furious. A lot of people were pissed off. And this is what makes it interesting. Sean Clark is a great guy. I love Sean, Malfunction. But he was in a pickle that day. Because here's the thing. You spent so much fucking money to get Ozzy there. Do you let the convention take a loss? Or do you open it up and try and get more people in there? You gotta fucking open the doors. So I get why they did it. So the convention didn't take a loss. But now you have so many people that would have never spent $700 that are hardworking people that maybe they spent money that they would have liked to spend on something else, and you open the door. So people are pissed. So then people were talking mad shit about what was going on. And then so Sean Clark goes out and makes a video, because a lot of people are saying, oh, you barely even get to meet the guy or whatever. So Sean Clark goes and makes a video going, look, people are meeting, they're talking to him and stuff. And yes, they were, but fuck all that for $700. So anyways, man, I'm telling you, I probably would have gone postal if I had fucking spent $700 and then somebody else got to walk in there for $200. I mean, I would have lost my fucking shit. So anyways, that is crazy.
That, and it is. And that's why I don't do a lot of this stuff, because I have the memory, because I'm now 57, of way back in the day of the 80s where all this shit was free. Like you pay $10 to walk in through the door, and it would be a Texas Chainsaw Massacre reunion. It would be parts 1 and 2, and it was all free. And then going to Creep I.E. and getting the 3 autographs and all of that. I have a great memory of all this stuff. I don't have anything bad, and I would like to keep it that way. So it's for me, that was meeting the Terrifier people was a great experience. It will always be there. I got my Funko, and
as a whole, those people were great. I loved them all. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, and so I didn't have to pay $700 one day and then find out I didn't have to the next day.
No, and that's one of the reasons I love the Hollywood show. Because it's cheap to get in, and there's not a lot of fluff with it. You just go in, you get your autographs, a lot of has-beens in there, but a lot of, relevant celebrities. But the prices are cheaper. Although, and speaking of which, so I went, I did a very cool video, and I know I will wrap this up here. I apologize. But I did a video at the mansion from Hell Night the other day. A lot of fun going there, seeing it firsthand was amazing. And I have my Hell Night poster that I've wanted forever, Linda Blair's autograph on. She is at the Hollywood show. And so I could go get her autograph, but I'm like, I'm still having like buyer's remorse from Creep I.E. and all that money I spent. So I'm like, yeah, I'll wait for another time. But
yeah, I'm still in the red from that.
But man, I rewatched Hell Night again after going there, and fuck, I love that movie.
I like Hell
Absolutely love Hell Night. Oh, and man, there's a scene where Linda Blair, I mean, fucking kudos. A scene where the killer comes up and puts an axe through the door, kind of like The Shining with Wendy Torrance, right? He puts an axe through the door, and her fucking reaction is golden. I mean, the acting in that movie is so good. She didn't have a line. God dang it. How much was she charging, Nocturno? How much was she charging? I need to know.
Hey, Nocturno.
But anyways, man, if I wasn't having buyer's remorse, I just need somebody want to give me like $100 super chat. Cause I think Linda Blair charges, I think $80 if I remember right. I think it's 60 or 80 for an autograph, but I think it's 80. So, but I would love to have a picture with her and stuff. Yeah. 80. That's what I figured. So 80, and then if you want a picture with her, it's probably like 130, 140, something like that. But, ridiculous. I know. But anyways, Brendan, Web Movie One was telling me that there was somebody there that was only charging $15. It's like, no way. That's awesome. Yeah. I'd go buy their autograph just because they're not trying to rob us all. The combo is 120.
I mean, back in the day, I knew people who worked for Roger Corman for New Concord, and I got Roger Corman and Jim Wynorski and all that to sign my Not of This Earth poster. And I was at a convention where Monique Gabrielle was there, and I asked her to sign the poster. And she goes, "Oh, it's a Jim Wynorski film," because they used to date. And she goes, "I tell you what, back in the day, you could wheel and deal. You can't do that anymore." She's like, "You buy my picture, I'll autograph it, and I'll sign your poster." I think maybe there was like $15. So I'm like, okay. Yeah. And it was her in a bikini, color picture. Hey, John, she signed the poster. So maybe $10 to get in, $15. I got a still and the poster signed. Yeah. And it's like, that's how you should do stuff. You should be able to do things like that, and you can't do that now. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Fuck, why is his name the filmmaker you just mentioned, who just passed away recently? You just mentioned his name? Fuck, why am I drawing a blank? His name is on. I can't believe Roger Corman. Oh. So do you want to hear my story? That was a pretty shameful story of trying to remember Roger Corman's name anyways. But do you want to hear my Roger Corman story of shame really quick?
Sure. And then I will take off.
So, and then, we'll wrap it up right after this. So in 2016, I went to a VHS swap meet at Dark Delicacies in LA, and Roger Corman was there. And that is actually coincidentally the same day I first met Jose Prendes, who now I'm part of his crew on his movie productions. So that's very cool. But I met Roger Corman that day. I was not buying any autographs because I didn't think I would ever get into collecting autographs. So I walked out the door after seeing Roger Corman in person without an autograph. And now he has since passed away. And I would love to have his autograph. And I hold my head in shame.
Okay, so I'm going to do one worse, and then we'll go. So I knew people who worked for Roger Corman. I was offered a PA job. I turned it down because they couldn't pay me. Okay, my thing was but that's not the bad part. So my friend Eric Austin and I wrote a treatment, like a 20-page treatment called "I'm Alive," and I sent it to my friend Cheryl, who is Roger Corman's personal assistant and a producer. She upped it the ladder past all the other readers to the head script reader. He read it, sent it back to me saying, "I like it. Here are notes. Can you change these things?"
Yeah.
I went in my mind, fuck you. Who are you to tell me what to do? I'm the writer. Who are you? How dare you tell me what to do? Well, guess what? I work at a fucking storage facility. So
yeah.
So I could have had a movie written by myself and possibly produced by Roger Corman if I wasn't such an egotistical idiot.
Yeah,
who refused to look at notes.
It is tough, and that's where, like you want a movie made. Writers really have to swallow your pride sometimes, and really have to suck it up and get change things. And that's one of the things with the asylum that we're learning. The writer will write it, and then the powers that be at the asylum are like, nope, and then finally they get it right. But you look at I think it was it Rob Zombie's which Rob Zombie movie was it? No. Was it Rob Zombie's Halloween? One of them. There was one movie that had to have 70 rewrites, because of the issues and stuff, like 70. So yeah, it's tough. Being a writer is tough, especially if it's a story that you are in love with, and then yes. So we just mentioned Brad from Tennessee. We love Tennessee and we love Brad. But we just talked about the trailer from Wolfman. And here's the thing, Julia Garner, love Julia Garner. Ruth you have a Ruth Funko now, don't you, John?
Yes, I do, sir. But
you have not seen the entire show.
I have only seen the very first episode, and that's it.
Okay, you got to get on board with that. It is amazing. It picks up steam as it goes, and oh my god. So it's not like Breaking Bad where it hit right off the bat. It picks up steam. It really does get good. So, but we're not too thrilled with it. We're hoping it works out to be a good movie, but we'll see. So John, the comments are popping in, so I'm going to answer a couple of these, but I don't want to hold you up.
Well, I know the werewolves one. That's okay. Stephen C. Miller. I know that he's coming out. So that I do know. That looks a lot better than Wolfman.
Okay, I have not seen that trailer. I'll have to go take a look for that, and I'll get back to you on that, Mr. Bones. But I will go watch that. But anyways, yeah, keep an eye out on John's channel. His link is down below, and you will be seeing. I'll be over there with you guys talking about the John Carpenter trilogy there. So
I'd be happy to have you on. So I think that you'll like Donald and. That should be fun because I also want to do the Fulci Gates of Hell trilogy too. So, but maybe do that like next year. So
nice.
Yeah.
One movie a week and talking about it I'm all about it. Sometimes it's tough to watch 3 or 4 movies, especially the way my mind works, because I do watch so many. I fucking mix them all up. But I'm telling you, I'm down doing that. If you decide to do that, the zombie thing, I would love to do that.
Yeah, maybe even like once a month, just put one out and because I got like 2 shelves full of zombie movies. So
nice.
They're just waiting to be reviewed.
There you go. Well, it's been fun, John. I'll let you get out of here, and I'm gonna head out too. Everybody, thanks for hanging out with us this evening, and see you later, John. This is gonna play an outro, and I'll let you get going so we can use the little girls' rooms, like I'm sure we both have to. So yeah. We'll see everybody later. Have a good one. Thanks for. We didn't even fucking talk about what we do for Halloween. We missed the whole subject. So maybe we'll talk about that another day. But thanks a lot, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Have yourselves a good night. Oh, nope. What the hell's going on? Leave studio. I don't want to leave the studio. I got to end the stream first.
Vampire.